And the blue socks, Solihull Moors with yellow shirts, blue shorts and yellow socks. The teams line up like this. One change for Pools. Louis Stevenson comes in replacing the injured Dan Dodds. Anthony Limbrick, the Pools head coach, confirming that he will be out for some time, but hopeful that we will see Dan Dodds before the end of the campaign. So Adam Smith in goal, a back three of Billy Sass-Davies, Tom Parks the captain and David Ferguson. The wing backs of Louis Stevenson and Riaz Cleary, who scored a stunning goal against Eastleigh last time out. A midfield that consists of Nathan Sherrin, Adam Campbell and Jamie Miley, and Joe Gray up front alongside Emmanuel Desirue. On the bench for Pools, Owen Foster, Anthony Mancini, who comes back from injury, Gary Medine back from illness, Luke Charman, Greg Sloggett, Nicky Featherstone and Sam Falarin. As for Solihull Moors, with the ball out for a throw-in on the near side, two changes for them. Out goes Jack Wells-Morrison and Jack Stevens. In comes Josh Labadie and Ethan Sutherland. So they start with Oliver Wright in goal, the Southampton loanee. A back four of Joe Newton, Alex Whitmore the captain, Robin Cundy and Reece Hall-Johnson. Two defensive midfielders of Labadie and James Clark. A midfield three from right to left of Sutherland, Ollie Tipton and Marcel Oakley, all supporting Manny Duku up front, a man that Anthony Limbrick knows all too well from their time together at FC United of Manchester. And Manny Duku, the top goal scorer so far this season, so one that Pools will have to keep a close eye on. A minute and a half into the game, nothing to report. Pools 0, Solihull Moors 0. Alongside us is Mickey Barron, our expert Pools summariser, Pools captain, caretaker, boss as well, assistant, all of that and more. And Mickey, it is a club that finds itself with a lot of off-the-field questions, but on the pitch, the players still very much have a job to do.
Yeah, 100%, Rob. I think if you're a player, the mentality has got to be that we're going to show anybody that wants to come by this club how good we can be and how good the fan base can be. And it's a big game today, you know. I think it's Hartlepool have got up against Solihull, who have been on a terrible run. Yes, they won last week, but they're still going to be fragile, Rob. There's still going to be concerns that if they concede goals that they're going to lose the game. So I think it's up to Hartlepool to really take the game towards them today.
Throw into Solihull Moors on this near side, goes down the line, headed back the way it came from Riaz Cleary. Nathan Sherrin intercepts and goes long into the Solihull Moors half, away to our left. And the yellow shirts are able to sweep that out to the far side, the Cyril Knowles stand, with the sun just kissing the top of the stand and many supporters shielding the sun from their eyes. There's a chance for Solihull Moors in, and in comes Adam Smith, a big left hand to deny the shot in on target there from Ollie Tipton. Real opportunity, but a good save at the near post. And in fact, it was Marcel Oakley who was found with all the space and time he would have wanted, but Adam Smith was quick off his line to close down the angle.
Yeah, Ferguson ends up in a position as a fullback you don't want to be. You've got a centre forward in front of you who's bigger than you. You know if you don't win that header, your wide players coming in behind you, and that's exactly what happened. He couldn't win the header. The wide players come in, he's hit it low down to Smith's left hand side, but Smith just put his arm out, made a cracking save there.
And that will do him the world of good. Adam Smith, the Pools goalkeeper, who has been on the wrong end of a few errors in past weeks. And the drums you can hear from the Pools fans in attendance. Long ball over the top. Billy Sass-Davies is going to collect on the edge of his own area. Louis Stevenson and Jamie Miley combining. Ball over the top towards Manny Desirue, holds it up well, finds Joe Gray. It's 3v2. Gray has Campbell to his left. He goes by himself. Joe Gray, shot is saved. And he rebounds out into the penalty area. And Solihull Moors eventually get it clear, but it's far from convincing. But Pools with an opportunity there. Joe Gray had options to his left and instead went by himself. Was it the right decision, Mickey Barron?
Yeah, I think it was, Rob. I just don't think he hit the shot properly, did he? As he's cut inside on that left-hand side, he hasn't made good connection with it. But 2 chances, 1 at each end, and keepers made good saves. But I think the ball's going to be put forward a lot today. I don't think there's going to be much passing through the midfield, and that normally does create quite a lot of chances.
There's a header from Manny Desirou. It almost finds its way through to Joe Gray inside the penalty area. As now a loose ball spins out to this near side. David Ferguson accelerates across to get in front of Manny Duku, and Pools have the throw-in. So both teams have landed early blows in this late kick-off in the National League. We saw Luton 0, Middlesbrough 0 in the Championship. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio T Sport today, a point for Michael Carrick's side, but judging by the reaction from the texts and the tweets, and Neil Maddison and Dana Malt, our Borough fan, for all the post-match reaction, not an overly convincing performance from Middlesbrough in the Championship. Hartlepool United in the National League could really do with a convincing performance, Mickey. It's gone very flat and very desperate in the last few games, and that run of no win in 7 will be weighing heavy on the players, you would imagine. Yeah,
definitely, but I just don't see what we try to do with the ball anymore, Rob. I think when Limbrick come in, he wanted to play this passing style football and he's chopped and changed players and formation.
Oh, as Manny Desirou lines one up for Adam Campbell, just nudged it into his path, and Campbell, first time, let it rip, and it ripped into the side netting, and it remains Pools 0, Solihull 0. But good link up there between Desirou and Campbell. Yeah,
and that's what Campbell does well, doesn't he? He just gets the other side of Ladderby and gets a shot in there. Ladderby's obviously in the team today to try and stop Campbell playing football. He's just sitting in front of the back 4, and he's going to try and pick Campbell up as much as he can. He couldn't on that at that time, and Campbell got the other side and a good shot, but it just hit the side net.
So, bright start so far. We're 7 minutes in. BBC Radio T Sport, we're on 95 FM, DAB Digital Radio, we're online via BBC Sound. You can take us wherever you're going tonight. If you're off to pick up your takeaway for your Saturday night, you can have us on in the car. You can, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and keep you right across this one in the National League. With so much talk about Hartlepool United off the field this week, with Chairman Raj Singh standing down from his position as chairman with immediate effect, announcing that he will fund the club, but only until the end of the season. And the statement yesterday released from the interim board, which said that there is positive talks ongoing with potential buyers. Certainly sounds encouraging, but Pools, as we have been saying all day long and all week long, still have business to do on the pitch. Riaz Cleary making inroads down the left-hand side and wins a throw-in for Anthony Limbrick's men.
Yeah, just on that, Rob, I read the statement from the interim board, but without knowing who that board consists of, the statement to me is a little bit not as positive as you want it to be, because who's writing that statement, who's involved in that, so we'll hopefully in time find out some more information.
Yeah, very true. It is as yet a faceless interim board, a nameless interim board, but certainly came out with a positive statement yesterday that give a lot of encouragement to supporters, and I'm sure staff as well, which is often, Mickey, the part of the jigsaw that is forgotten about. You know, the office staff, the people who work at this football club and have done for their entire life. Question marks over, you know, their wages, their bills, and their livelihoods.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the statement you made about that the other day, Rob, was perfectly true and spot on. You know, it's those people who are probably in the most uncertain position, even when a takeover happens, are they going to keep the job, and hopefully it'll work out for everyone involved.
Throw into Solihull Moors, then the ball out of play over on the far side. Anthony Limbrick watching on, pacing around his technical area as he so often does, and the ball dropping out of play once again, this time for a Pools throw. And can see one of the banners over on the far side in the Cyril Knowles stand, the Her Game 2. It is the designated Her Game 2 fixture And I know Jill and the team at the Pools branch of HKM2 do an incredible job. And Pools hoping that they can mark the occasion with a victory, as Louis Stevenson and Joe Gray combined to win possession back from Ethan Sutherland. And the ball to the feet of Adam Smith, the Pools goalkeeper, launches this one long, but only to the forehead of Robbie Cundy. And now an opportunity for Solihull to build out on this near side, as Manny Duku was dropping deep there. Raz Clear has won possession and won a free kick and did well, just put his body between man and ball, and it was Reece Hall-Johnson who was judged to have fouled Cleary for a Pools free kick there.
Yeah, it's going to be a good battle, those two, isn't it? He looks strong, Hall-Johnson, obviously we know Cleary's strong, he's direct, he likes to run at people, and as a fullback that's really hard to deal with, but he has to get tight with him and stop Cleary getting a run at him.
Free kick from Ferguson drops into the Solihull half of the pitch. Louis Stevenson fighting for it, shoulder to shoulder with his man, but out for another throw-in. And be interesting to see how Solihull grow into this game, given the fact that they have put an end to that longest run without a win in the club's history. 12 games and 11 games, I beg your pardon, and beating Ebbsfleet last time out 2-1. Whether they will come into this game with a bit of confidence off the back of that win, or whether that such a long run will still have its scars.
Yeah, it's how you spin it, Rob, isn't it? It's one undefeated or one win in 12. It's how mentally you deal with that. And as I say, I think the first goal of the day will be crucial, because if Hartlepool can get it, Solihull are going to go back into that negative sort of frame of mind and worry about the game a little bit more.
Joe Gray's just limping quite heavily on his right foot. Just took a little tumble off the ball moments ago. This ball out for another throw-in midway inside this Solihull half. Gray just trying to shake that one out a little bit.
Just think he got caught, didn't he, on that ankle as he twisted over, but hopefully he'll be able to run that one off.
Manny Dizarue holding the ball, getting almost the number 20 ripped off his shirt there from his marker. Hooked into the box by Stevenson, headed away by Solihull, keeps moving with Stevenson but runs into a yellow brick wall in the shape of Solihull Moors' defence. A diagonal ball out to this near side. What a ball that was, and picked up by Oakley. Low ball to the back post, and Parks can get underneath that and clear it out into the stand. And the cheers you can hear were because the ball looped into the stand, and a Hartlepool United fan just headed it straight back onto the pitch with his first touch. That was the header of a centre-back if I ever saw one, Mickey Barron.
He's got to make sure he set himself properly there, because that could hurt, but he looked like he did all right, and he's getting a lot of sort of celebrations with his friends, so hopefully he got that one on telly.
Yes, absolutely. The cameras are trained on this fixture this evening. Again, the sun setting behind the stand that we're in, the Neil Cooper stand, and just means that the pitch is all in shadow at the minute, as Solihull have a free kick midway inside the Pools half. Tipton just launches one deep into the Pools penalty area, but it's over everybody and drops out for a goal kick, and even his teammates turned around there at Ollie Tipton. It's just as if to say, well, I have no idea what you were trying to do there. Yeah,
you could see Whitmore was pinning Parks, expecting someone to be behind him to come and head the ball, and as he's turned around, there's no one there. It's just drifted out. He's just overhit it. He's got to try and put it towards the goal a little bit more for someone to attack.
In the National League North this afternoon, our games there: Spennymoor 3, Kings Lynn 0 was a full-time score, and it ended Peterborough Sports 4, Darlington 1. Also in the National League North, Middlesbrough drawing 0-0 with Luton in the Championship, and here in the 5:30 kickoff, we're 14 minutes in, it's Pools 0, it's Solihull Moors 0. Both teams have had opportunities early on. It was Marcel Oakley who latched onto a loose ball inside the box and tried to beat Adam Smith at his near post, but Smith was out off his goal line to close down the angle and get a big left glove to it. Since then, Pools have had two opportunities of their own. Joe Gray racing forward in a 3v2 in Poole's favour. Didn't need any support in the end. He went by himself, a low shot that was well saved by Oliver Wright over in the Solihull goal over to our left hand side, and then that was shortly followed just a minute later by Manny Dizaruwe's flick into the path of Adam Campbell, who fired his effort straight into the side netting. And that is all we've really had to write home about so far in this game, as Solihull on the attack. Tipton stabs the ball forward, but Poole's able to intercept with Sass Davies, and Sass Davies puts the ball out of play for a Solihull throw-in. And worth mentioning, over on the far side in the director's box, can see the club secretary, can see the commercial officer, but no Raj Singh, the club owner, who of course resigned as chairman earlier in the week. So Pools haven't cleaned their line. A shot through a crowd of bodies that is blocked by Sass Davies. Campbell now hits a diagonal ball, but that's poor. It was completely behind Manny Dizaruwe. He hit it first time, Campbell, and probably had a bit more time than he thought. Yeah, he tried to drive it, didn't he, into Manny's in the space, but he didn't really have to use that technique. That technique can go wrong quite easily. He could have just curled it in behind for Manny to run onto, and there's not been much quality so far, Rob, hasn't there? Both teams are playing very similar formations. The ball's going from back to front quite quickly, and no one's really got the foot on the ball to try and play any football. Voice of Mickey Barron, our expert Pools summariser, knows exactly what it means to lead a team, to lead this team. Former Pools captain is Oakley, collects a diagonal ball. Now it's Hall Johnson, back to Oakley, in space to deliver the cross, hangs it up, and Louis Stevenson is wrestling with Ethan Sutherland to get a grip of that one. Cross comes back into the Pools penalty area, headed away by Parks up into the ever-darkening afternoon sky. And Joe Gray again hooks it up but not out, and Pools just can't clear the lines. David Ferguson helps the ball on its way, picks out Adam Campbell in the centre circle. Now Riaz Cleary tries to get the ball down and gets brought down as the ball goes out for a throw-in, and Riaz Cleary just takes his time pulling himself to his feet, which led to a few hearts in mouths for a moment there. Yeah, there's just no space in midfield at the moment, is there? Everyone's sort of tightly marked, and if you get the ball you're under pressure and then people are giving it away. Somebody's got to try and find that space. Dizaruwe does really well to find space for Joe Gray at the byline, stands the ball up, nutmegs his man, tries to go the long way around him, but instead Hall Johnson can clear it up to Doku, flicks on his header. David Ferguson is in a foot race with Oakley, and Ferguson comes out on top in that particular race. Yeah, Rob, just going back to what I was saying before, these are the situations where I'm sort of confused about Limerick's tactics, because when he came in he wanted to play, he wanted them to get the ball down, and now it's just more direct than what we've seen before. Dizaruwe finds Stevenson back down the line on the far side to Sharon. Stevenson once more clips it over the top for Campbell, does really well to find Stevenson. It escapes to the feet of Jamie Miley, who gets right underneath it and balloons his effort not only over the goal but over the rink end stand, and it remains Pools 0, Solihull Moors 0. Yeah, he was just leaning back, wasn't he? The tackle was coming in, he could probably see him at the side of us. He's coming in, he's leaning back, and it's gone high and wide over the top. The late kick-off in the Premier League. Bournemouth have taken the lead. Bournemouth 1, Brentford 0. Elsewhere in the Premier League today, full-time scores: Everton 1, West Ham 1, Ipswich 2, Nottingham Forest 4, Man City 2, Brighton 2, Southampton 1, Wolves 2. Highlights of all of those games on Match of the Day tonight on BBC One. I really like watching Bournemouth play, Robert. I've seen them quite a bit this season. The tactics that they play, but they've got some really good individuals in that team, and I think they're a team to watch if they can keep those players for next season. Yeah, they are one of the surprise packages, aren't they? The Premier League this season is throwing for Solihull Moors. Hall Johnson clips it into the edge of the area, headed away by Ferguson. Manny Dizaruwe does really well to use his chest and turn his man, but Dizaruwe has inadvertently caught his opposite number, and Looks like it's a head injury as well, so there is going to need some treatment. The Solihull Moor physio is very reluctant to get on the pitch.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to give here, because it looked like Manny got fouled afterwards, but the head injury had already happened, so it'll be interesting to see how he starts it. We had a massive argument yesterday, Rob. We have sort of an hour in between coaching and the next set of coaching, and there was which Bruno is better. And I know which one you'll say.
I know what you're going to say. Guimaraes, Shaw, or Fernandes.
And honestly, it went on and on. We have a couple of 2 or 3 Newcastle fans, 2 Man United fans. I'm neutral. I don't support anyone. Never have done. So I can argue either way if I want to. But and then it got on to who has the best flags.
Who was your pick out of the Brunos?
I would. It's only my opinion, because I go against Bruno Fernandes a little bit because he's captain. If he wasn't captain, I might have a bit more liking for him, but I don't think he's a captain of Man United especially. So I would rather have Bruno, but they started pulling out stats on goals, assists.
You'd rather have Guimaraes, you mean?
Yeah. The proper Bruno. So these are the comments that sort of cause arguments, aren't they?
They are, yes.
But then Nels was picking out stats about Bruno Guimaraes is the most fouled, so he must have the most impact, and then I was saying, yeah, but you can get stats either way, can't you? They're born to back you up. So I know which one you're going to pick.
No comment, Your Honour. No comment. But definitely Fernandes. You've missed nothing while we spoke about Bruno, even though, according to some Disney movies, you shouldn't talk about Bruno.
Well, our rugby coach did say I'd rather have the Bruno off there, strictly.
Okay, yes. There is that Bruno. There's a lot of Brunos. There's been just some treatment to Joe Newton, who is back on his feet and is going to have to go off, so he will be sidelined for 30 seconds or so, and it's going to be a drop ball, an uncontested drop ball. Ex-professionals love uncontested drop balls, apparently. No comment, says Mickey Barron. Shake of the head.
Right, here's a question. Both Brunos with a drop ball, who's coming out?
Yes, answers on the postcard. As Pools get the game back underway. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything. It was a stoppage in play. Joe Newton is off the pitch getting that treatment, and Pools attacking with Manny Desirue at the byline, and good sliding challenge there to deny him a chance to cross. And Pools with the first corner of the game, and Solihull with yet another man down. He
looks a bit brighter, Manny, from the last couple of times I've seen him here, Rob. He looks like he's got a spring in his step again, and he's sort of closing those people down, chasing those longer balls, and he just looks like he's got a little bit of pressure off him.
Well, the Solihull player who's down and looked to be in some discomfort is now back up onto his feet, and it was Alex Whitmore's. Pools have this corner. David Ferguson to deliver. The home crowd trying to pull that ball into the back of the net. A header at the front post from Parks, rebounds to Jamie Miley, closed down. Sharon picks up the loose ball on the edge of the D. Now to Reyes Cleary. Rolls his studs over the top of the ball, drives towards the byline, holds it up to the back post, and it's deep and out of play, and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, he's unlucky there, isn't he? He got that yard past the defender, and he's just trying to stand it up to the back post and overhit it. But every time he gets a ball in that final third, Rob, he's exciting, isn't he? He gets on it, and he can go inside, he can go outside, and he's a real talent.
The ball out for a goal kick. Thank you to Paul, who's been in touch. He says, got a lovely beef Wellington on the go. Listening to the commentary. Come on, Rob Law and Mickey Barron, bring 3 points home, please.
Paul, I'm coming round, but it needs to go in the oven.
He sent us a picture. It's certainly not cooked yet, but it does look very anemic of a beef Wellington. But yes, Paul, hope the Wellington is going well, as Jamie Miley hooks the ball into this Solihull half of the pitch. And then Doku hits it over the top, looking for Oakley. Ferguson does really well to get across his man to win the ball and to win the goal kick as well. And that's the experience you get from David Ferguson. And he used every ounce of it there.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation, that, Rob. You're going towards your own goal, you know you can't head it, and you've got someone pressuring from behind, and then what you do is you just head out for a corner. But he's used, as you say, his experience there. He's let it drop, he's come round out the other side of it, and then kicked it off the opponent to win a goal kick. Good defending. David
Ferguson, just one of many Pools players who are out of contract come the end of the season. That's the one thing that, you know, as much as Anthony Limbrick is saying, all the stuff off the pitch, nothing to do with us, which I think many don't particularly agree with, but the one thing it certainly does affect is his ability to offer new contracts to players, because they don't know what funds they're dealing with. As Adam Campbell picks up the ball, wins it on the edge of the area, the shot closed down and blocked, rebounds for Jamie Miley through the centre of the pitch, goes back to Sass Davies in the centre circle. That's a good low pass to Adam Campbell, keeps the ball moving to Miley, who looks out to the right hand side for Louis Stevenson. Too much on that from Miley and out for a throw-in. But just going back to that point, Mickey Barron, as much as he says it doesn't affect what they do, how can it not? Yeah,
it's got to, hasn't it? It's got to at some point. I was a little bit disappointed, Rob, if I'm being honest, with his interview the other day. I listen to all the interviews you do, as you know, and I just wanted him to be a bit more sort of understanding of the situation from the fans' point of view and everyone connected with the club.
As Adam Campbell does really well there to find Miley into Desirue, lays it off for Joe Gray, who wins it back. It's all right on the edge stuff though. Pools barely keeping hold of possession. Cleary, this is better, into Desirue, turns inside the area, the shot takes a deflection and goes over the crossbar and out for a corner. Much better from Pools. Reyes Cleary at the heart of it yet again, into Desirue's feet, did really well to hold his marker off, turn inside the box and unleash a shot which took a wicked deflection, and then a save from Oliver Wright to stop the ball from going in the net, and Pools with a corner. Yeah,
it's Cleary again. He drags two people towards him, Rob, so two of the defenders, which allows him to play it into Manny's feet. Manny does well, he spins, gets a shot off, and I thought it had gone through the goalkeeper's hands, but he just got enough on it to send it over the crossbar.
Corner to Pools, David Ferguson to take it. Pools' second corner of the afternoon with the sun setting here in the northeast. Swung into the front post, header from Parks, back across goal, and somehow it's cleared away out to this near side and out for a Pools throw-in. But there was Solihull yellow shirts right on the goal line, and it's just as well there was, because for a second time Ferguson whipped it into the front post. Parks was there, peeled away from his marker, got a clean connection to the header, and it was swept away from the goal mouth as Pools in possession in the final third with Campbell, edge of the box. Raz Cleary returns his marker really well into the back post. Stevenson arriving, but it's only half cleared by Solihull Moors. Desirue picks it up out on the right hand side, turns into space and wins. Well, wins nothing, and they've managed to keep it in, only just right on the byline. Thought it was going to spin out for a corner. Sass Davies heads it back goalwards. Pools pressing with Adam Campbell leading the charge, and Oliver Wright gets right underneath that. He's given it away to Pools. Sharon into Desirue, can't control it. Cleared again by Solihull Moors, who put it straight out of play for a Pools throw. And Anthony Limbrick imploring his team forward, because you get the feeling that momentum is very much with those in blue and white. Yeah, they're creaking a little bit, Solihull, on the start of the game, defending well, but there's a few gaps opening up now, and they're not as tight as they were at the start of the game. The set piece there, the one before Parks was free and the ball didn't come to him. Manny Desirue tries to get past his man, but he's judged to have pulled the shirt of Alex Whitmore. And then as soon as the referee blew his whistle, Manny Desirue turned around there to, I think it was to Louis Stevenson, and just said, into my feet, give it into my feet. He doesn't want it over the top to chase and fight for in the air. He wants it into his feet, and that message was clear. That's where he's good, Rob, isn't he? He's good with the ball into his feet. He doesn't want to be in the air chasing all the time. There's David Ferguson, just lets that one run, and Pools have a goal kick. The ball bouncing right up in front of the ever-experienced photographer Frank Reed, who's in attendance today, as he so often always is. Just on that, Rob, can I give a special mention to a friend of mine whose first game in 7 years, Mr. Phil Dunn, a fantastic Hartlepool supporter. Knowledge of Hartlepool is unbelievable, and it's his first game in 7 years at the Vic. The Prestige Group Stadium. Sorry. No, but it always is the Vic, isn't it? Let's be honest. Well, Phil, good to have you back. I think there'll be many like Phil who today's game will be their first in a while. Desirue does well out to the right hand side once more for Louis Stevenson. His low ball into the box, bounced and bobbled into the thankful arms of Oliver Wright. Over to our left hand side as Pools attack. Whitmore goes back to his goalkeeper, Wright once again, who launches it over to the far side in front of the Cyril Knowles stand. The sun has now set behind this main stand that we're in, so not a window of sunlight on the pitch, and the floodlights on, casting shadows on the surface. As Solihull work it back to goalkeeper Oliver Wright once more. A Southampton loanee, and clips it out to Newton.
He does that well, doesn't he, the keeper to the left back, but it's just then what does the left back do with it? This is what they've done each time they've got out. They've just gone back and then ended up going back to the goalkeeper again. And
then Whitmore's tried to hit a diagonal towards Oakley, which Ferguson cuts out from a Pools perspective. Now a chance for Solihull to try and build another attack. Oakley, who's been the brightest of those in a yellow shirt early on, out to Hall Johnson to the front post, and Adam Smith just had to be careful there because it was sneaking in at the front post and he just had to make sure. But the referee gives a goal kick as the ball landed just on top of the crossbar and then out onto the roof of the net.
Yeah, they had a 3v2 there, Solihull down this right hand side, and he decided to cross it, but he's got to whip that in. He just sort of side-footed in onto the top of the net. He's got to try and whip that in with the inside of his foot and get a bit more curl on it.
David Ferguson tries to get across and just disrupt the momentum of Marcel Oakley, and he does that well. Parks looks long for Joe Gray and Desirue, but instead it's cleared into touch by Robbie Cundy on loan from Notts County, and it is a Pools throw-in. Yeah, you were saying about Phil Dunn earlier. You were saying he knows more about your career than you do.
Well, yeah, I think in every game I've played, and probably loads I've forgotten, Phil can tell you sort of who scored, attendances, what strip you were wearing. He's almost encyclopedic knowledge about Hartlepool, but good to have him back.
Absolutely. It's Tom Parks gets underneath this ball and finds Riaz Cleary on the right hand side, skipping infield, and just outnumbered in the end was Cleary. Solihull work it away from their own goal. David Ferguson, well, David Ferguson thought he won a throw in there, and it looked from here that he had won one, but the referee Gareth Rhodes disagreed and gave the throw in to Solihull.
I think Oakley down his right hand side's their sort of brightest player so far. He probably looks quick and wants to run in behind and try and get that ball in behind.
He's certainly got a bit of pace about him, hasn't he? He keeps finding the space, sort of peeling away from David Ferguson and Riaz Cleary. The ex-Birmingham man came through the academy there. That white strapping on his left hand. As Billy Sass-Davies has possession of the ball deep inside the Pools half of play. Over to our right, Louis Stevenson tries to go the long way around his marker and loses out. Sutherland into Ollie Tipton inside his own half, and this is all very patient play from Solihull, but it's not really going anywhere.
Oh, they're trying to get that diagonal on from the left back or the left hand side to this right hand side to get Oakley in, but they can't play it all the time because sometimes they're too far away to play that diagonal, so they just need to build it up a little bit more. But as you say, that they're keeping the ball without any real sort of progression of it.
As Nathan Sherrin wins a header, Adam Campbell hooks the ball towards Jamie Miley, who then collects it and tries to turn goalwards, and as he does, just has his feet taken from underneath him, so he wins a free kick. This is a free kick. Well, I'd say this is it would certainly have to be spectacular to go in from here.
Yeah, I think if you score from here, it's going to be a deflected goal. It's going to be a shot where the keeper has to go one way and then it spins in the other way. I don't think
either that or it's going to be the goal of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Cleary's goal last week was probably closer than that, but Yeah, you're going to have to hit this really. I wouldn't even have a wall from here, Rob, if I was a goalkeeper. I'd take the wall out and just go on, just shoot. Because
and they've taken it quickly. Miley into Campbell, out to the left-hand side for Cleary. Caught Solihull on the hop here. Low ball into the box from Cleary. A touch from Joe Gray as he turns, but he loses his footing. And Solihull can work it away from goal to the halfway line for Jamie Miley. Down the right-hand side for Stevenson. A little give and go with Joe Gray. That is good. Stevenson inside the box, being tugged at. Nothing given from the referee. And he's just outnumbered and runs into a dead end, does Louis Stevenson, as the road in front of him was running out. But Jamie Miley's done well to win it back on the touchline. And now in towards Desirue. Cleared off the line. A diving header from Hall Johnson. And the ball looked destined for the back of the net. Desirue with the decisive touch, but it was Reece Hall Johnson who denied him the goal, and it remains 0-0 and Pools with the third corner of the game.
Yeah, Stevenson did really well the first part of that attack. He just couldn't get a shot off. Then it's just spun into Manny in behind the centre half, and he's flicked it across goal. And Hall Johnson, I thought he's going to head it back into someone's feet just to tap in, but they managed to clear it for a corner.
Another Pools corner, the last one, led to a real goal-scoring opportunity. This one goes to the back post. Desirue with a header, spilled by the goalkeeper, and Nathan Sherron can't convert. It comes back out to Jamie Miley. Floats one into the area, and out comes Oliver Wright to gather it, plucks it out of the air, and smothers it onto the turf.
Yeah, they don't look comfortable defending corners, Rob. I don't know whether the setup's not right or they're not happy with who they're marking, but Parks always goes across the front. That time it was put to the back for Manny, and he had a header. It wasn't that far out, and he's just headed it down, but they definitely don't look comfortable defending set pieces.
Hartlepool United getting closer, you sense, with just less than 10 minutes to go until half-time. Manny Desirue cushions the ball, but nobody else was on the same page as Oakley looks for a deep cross to the back post, but it's so deep it's out for a goal kick with 36 minutes on the clock. Pools 0, Solihull Moors 0.
Yeah, I think he was slightly unlucky there. I think it's just hit a bobble as he's gone to cross it, and it's just lifted up a little bit and taken it out. But that's what Solihull are going to do. They're going to look for that quick counter-attack, get people forward when they can, and if not, they're going to sit back and try and defend.
Well, we had Paul, who got in touch earlier as the ball is out of play for a goal kick, and showed us his anemic beef Wellington that he was yet to put in the oven. Thanks to John, who's been in touch. He says, "Hi lads, just ordered our Indian meal box for half time and Moretti lager for the fridge. Bon appetit and cheers me D is up the Pools." He's even sent us a picture of what he's ordered, and I mean, I know that doesn't work for people listening on the radio, but it's very, very, very nice indeed. Even told us what he gets in the meal box. Brilliant, John. Love that. Thank you.
More importantly, what's Mrs. Barron going to send in for tea?
Making us all very hungry at the back of the Neil Cooper stand this evening on BBC Radio T Sport. Pools 0, Solihull 0, and it is the visitors in possession on the halfway line, working it back to their captain Alex Whitmore. Adam Campbell tries to close down the goalkeeper, dressed all in grey, gets right underneath that, out to Joe Newton, and that's been the pattern all game long, from goalkeeper out to left back and then diagonal ball. But this time trying a little bit of a different approach down the far side, but it runs out of play for a goal kick with 38 minutes on the clock.
Sass Davies always does well, Rob, when I've watched him. I was surprised in that sort of early spell, Limerick, when he was playing other people at centre half. Why didn't give him a chance? I know he sort of praised him in the last couple of games, but he's strong, he's good on the ball, he wins his headers, and I'd like to see him have a real good run in the team.
As Brentford have equalised against Bournemouth in the late kick-off in the Premier League. Bournemouth 1, Brentford 1. Here's a score there, and 5 minutes to go till half-time. Joe Gray latches onto a loose ball, tries to curl one, and instead puts it straight down the throat of Oliver Wright. An easy one for him, didn't have to adjust his footing at all. And Joe Gray looks up to the heavens and the ever-darkening night sky, because he knows he perhaps should have done better from that position.
Yeah, I think he's just got to take a little bit further forward and attack the defender and try and then move it to the side and try and beat the goalkeeper. I've been impressed with the goalkeeper, Ollie Wright. I think he looked composed, made that save look relative. He's been good with the ball at his feet as well. But yeah, I think George should be a little bit more positive there.
Solihull with a free kick inside their own half, trying to hit that diagonal ball. The referee, Gareth Rhodes, is giving the old hokey-cokey symbol. The ball was still moving. It was in, out, it was all about.
Yeah, just gives the ball back to Solihull, though, doesn't it? They've just given it away and then it gives them back, but the law's the law.
And out it goes for a throw-in. Some in the posh seats over in the Cyril Knowles stand just having a duck out the way there from the ball, which was fired into the stands. Ollie Tipton back to his captain and centre-back in Whitmore. I feel like we've mentioned the Solihull goalkeeper Ollie Wright more times than anybody else on the pitch so far, as Riaz Cleary picks up possession and then he slaloms out to the left hand side inside the box, and the shot takes a deflection, might open up for Gray, and he didn't pull the trigger, but Cleary picks it up, works into space. He's got yellow shirts all around him, they're completely blocking his path to goal, and then Cleary has fouled his man, and it's a free kick to Solihull Moors and alleviates the pressure on the Moors goal. But Cleary there had 5 or 6 yellow shirts blocking his sight of goal, and eventually the numbers told.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? Moved the ball again so quickly. He goes one way, and then from this side of the ground it looked like Joe Gray was just going to go and curl it in there, but the defender just got his toe in front and stopped him. But Cleary's definitely the danger man, isn't he? Get the ball as much as you can to him and get him attacking the full-back.
It was a brilliant... I interviewed him last week at Eastleigh, after the game at Eastleigh, when he scored a fantastic goal. The ball out for a throw-in on this near side for Hartlepool United, deep inside their own half. And after the game, he must have spent, Mickey, 15-20 minutes plus with the travelling Hartlepool United fans over on the far side, and he was signing things, taking pictures with them. And I asked him about that, and he said, look, I was a ball boy at West Bromwich Albion, the club that he's on loan from, and he said, I remember how important it was and how special you felt when players came over and just took that time with you. And he said, I want to give that back to the fans who've travelled so well. And I thought that was just a mark of the man.
Yeah, it's such a class, Rob, isn't it? It's such a sort of how he's been brought up as from sort of family and from the football club as well. But I have to say it's a lot easier to do that when you've scored the goal that he did last week, mate. But no, he seems a really switched on guy.
As Solihull try to force a bit of pressure on the Pool's goal, but the ball drops out for a goal kick, and we're into the 42nd minute. So 3 to go until half time, and Harry Roy will guide you through your half time break. All the post-match reactions come from Middlesbrough's goalless draw against Luton Town in the Championship. And today has also seen Spennymoor 3, Kings Lynn 0, Peterborough 4, Darlington 1 in the National League North. Here it's goalless in the National League's late kick-off. And Pools with a free kick just beyond the halfway line in Solihull territory. Yeah,
the centre halves for Solihull are letting Ladderby try and deal with Manny, so they don't want to get drawn out, so someone running behind them. But Ladderby there is just grabbing hold of them and pulling them side to side. He's always going to give a free kick away.
David Ferguson to take this free kick about 10 yards from the halfway line, and he's waving his teammates forward. There's a very high defensive line from Solihull Moors. Ferguson just clips one into the box, headed away out to the right hand side for Sherrin, who's going to pick it up on the touchline. In fact, he's going to let it drop out for a Pools throw. He's going to leave it for Louis Stevenson.
They just haven't been on the ball, sure. I'm just thinking what's Sherrin done in the game and what's Miley done in possession of the ball. They just don't seem to be able to get the ball in the sort of opposition's half to play some football.
Stevenson with the throw-in, finds Campbell, back to Stevenson once more. Pools trying to work a way through the Solihull defence over in front of the Cyril Knowles stand, and instead they've worked it out for a Solihull throw. So
just going back to Cleary, Rob, it'd be interesting to see his development from the end of this season. Warning, where does he go next? Does he stay at West Brom? Do they put him in around the first team? Does he have to go out on loan again? Where will that be? because he's definitely a talent, isn't he? He's got something that other players don't have with that blistering pace.
Solihull in possession. Oakley out to this near side now for Hall Johnson, the man who cleared a Desiree chance off his own goal line moments ago. Solihull, well, they get plenty of possession. They always seem to be going backwards and seem to struggle with anything that goes into the opposition half.
Yeah, that's a real chance to play forward. I think it was Clark in a good position to play the ball, and he goes backwards, and then, as you say, it ends up out of the goalkeeper 9 times out of 10.
I think we've started something here, Mickey, because thanks to Mike, who's been in touch also on social media, he says, "Here, Rob and Mickey, get some skin on chips in your whoppers."
I like skin on chips.
He sent us a picture of his skin on fries from what I assume is his air fryer.
I'm not sure that whoppers is necessary.
I think that was probably aimed more towards me than it was you, I would suspect. But
yeah, skin on fries are good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm up there with them.
Don't know anybody who would turn their nose up to skin on fries, to be frank. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Enough about the food. As Adam Smith launches the ball long. We're just going to get people sending us dinners all night long now, aren't we?
We could rate the top 3, I suppose, by the end of the match.
Well, certainly if there's nothing going on the pitch.
And we need to know if it's homemade or if it's like a takeaway, because different categories then.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you to Luke, who's been in touch also on social media. He says, I believe that Cleary is out of contract at the end of the season at West Bromwich Albion, which I do believe is the case. Yes, so I think he is very much playing for his future, whether it be at West Brom, whether it be at Hartlepool or somewhere else higher up the footballing pyramid. But as Mickey Barron quite rightly said, it feels there is a real talent there, as Luke Clark tries for a ball on the edge of the Pool's penalty area, but Pool's able to deal with that momentarily. Marcel Oakley picks up a loose ball now. Hall Johnson, Ollie Tipton, a through ball. It is a good through ball, but out comes Adam Smith to gather the ball at the feet of Oakley, whose diagonal run into the area looked dangerous for a moment, but Smith was quick off his line to gather that one.
Yeah, it was a really positive pass, wasn't it? He tried to put it through the Parks and Ferguson, and Oakley ran on a diagonal in to try and get it, but just over here slightly, and Smith managed to get it, but really sort of progressive pass there.
Into the final 30 seconds of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Pools 0, Solihull Moors 0. Many of the fans in attendance making their way to the kiosks for their half-time refreshments. Mickey Barron has brought the treats today. Going to tell everybody what you brought.
Yeah, well, we've had a bit of a family gathering today. We've got some relatives up from down south, and Mum's cooks, and it's like a ginger flapjack.
It's very, very, very nice. Yeah. And on that note, we have a chance to now enjoy said treats, because the halftime whistle has gone. We spent more time talking about treats and foods than we have the football, but Pools have had opportunities in that first half, none more so than Manny Desirue laying a ball into Adam Campbell, whose shot hit the side netting 6 minutes in. That was just after Joe Gray had broke free down the right hand side. It was 3v2. He didn't need the support in the end. He went for a low drive that was well stopped by Oliver Wright in the Solihull goal. But Pools have continued to apply pressure on the goal over to our left hand side, whereas Cleary and Manny Desirue linking up on 25 minutes for a Manny Desirue shot as he turned well inside the area, got his shot away through a crowd of bodies, took a deflection and drew a good save again from Wright to touch it over his crossbar. And then 35 minutes on the clock when Jamie Miley collected the ball wide on the right hand side, swung across into the area. Manny Desirue got a touch on it to guide it goalwards, but it was stopped on the goal line by the Solihull Moors right back Reece Hall Johnson, diving in to stop the goal. It looked destined for the back of the net, but instead it was hooked away. Joe Gray's had a shot on the edge of the area as well that was rather tame, and an easy save in the end for the Moors keeper. But Pools have had their opportunities, and in the second half They will need to turn those opportunities into goals. Mickey, at the break, it's 0-0. Your thoughts?
Yeah, a game that lacked any real quality, Rob, hasn't it? It's sort of been direct play, getting the ball into the box, trying to get onto second balls, and with no teams really played through midfield. Hartlepool's been a better team, they've had the better chances, but it just feels like a game, Rob, doesn't it? There's no real excitement in it, there's no real one player that's standing out apart from Cleary when he gets the ball, and I would just like Hartlepool to play a little bit more, get the ball down and pass it a little bit more, try and get Solihull to come out and then exploit the spaces and get them. But as I say, Hartlepool have been the better team, but they need to take one of these chances.
So plenty of opportunities, but as it stands at the break, no goals. It's Pools 0, it's Solihull Moors 0, and our bellies are rumbling. I think, Harry.
Go and get some half-time refreshments, will you? Rob, Mickey, thank you very much for that first half. It is Harry Roy here with you until 8 o'clock tonight here on BBC Radio T Sport. Second half commentary to come shortly of Pools versus Solihull. We'll also hear from the New England boss Thomas Tuchel ahead of his first game in charge next week. Before all of that, though, I'll bring you the late kick-off scores and the full-time results from around the grounds. Next, it's 6:20.
BBC Music introducing With Shaq. We showcase the best local talent.
2 hours of new and upcoming artists from our part of the world.
And every week, I pick my track of the week.
The future of music.
This week, it's Hannah Robinson with her brand new single, Who I Am. That's my track of the week, Who I Am by Hannah Robinson.
The sound of local music in the North East.
Supporting new and emerging artists.
Every Thursday and Saturday night from 8.
BBC introducing
With Shaq. BBC Radio Tees. Proud to follow Hartlepool United.
BBC Radio Tees
Sport.
Half-time at the Vic and staying on trend with our afternoon here on BBC Radio T Sport. It's goalless at half-time between Hartlepool United and Solihull Moors. Going to bring you the full-time scores from the National League, starting with Oldham. They drew 1-1 with Rochdale in a derby. Elsewhere finished Altrincham 1, Aldershot 2. Braintree 0, Boston United 1 was a full-time score. 10-man Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Tamworth 3 was also a full-time score. Ebbsfleet 1, AFC Fylde 0, Forest Green 2, Southend United 2, Gateshead 0, Maidenhead 2. FC Halifax Town were big winners at Sutton. They won 3-0. It was a 3-3 draw between Wealdstone and Eastleigh. Barnet beat Woking by a goal to 0, and York City won 1-0 at Yeovil. Elsewhere, heading to the Premier League, there is 1 5:30 kick-off between Bournemouth and Brentford, and at the break, it's 1-1. An own goal from Vitaly Janelt to give Bournemouth the lead, but Johan Wissa equalised for the Bees on 30 minutes. 4 other games were played in the Premier League earlier on this afternoon. It finished Everton 1, West Ham 1, Ipswich 2, Nottingham Forest 4, Manchester City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, and Southampton 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. In the Championship, our earlier kick-off between Luton Town and Middlesbrough finished goalless at Kenilworth Road. It means the Borough are 8th in the table, 3 points off those playoff places heading into the international break. Elsewhere in the Championship, it finished Millwall 1, Stoke City 0, QPR 2, Leeds 2, Blackburn 1, Cardiff 2, Coventry 3, Sunderland 0, Oxford United 1, Watford 0, Plymouth 2, Derby 3, Preston 2, Portsmouth 1, Swansea 0, Burnley 2, and West Bromwich Albion 1, Hull City 1. And in the National League North, 2 games we were keeping an eye on earlier on this afternoon. It finished at Spennymoor Town. They won 3-0 against Kings Lane, and Peterborough Sports thumped Darlington by 4-1. All of the other classified results of this afternoon's games are available to read on the BBC Sport website.
BBC Radio T Sport.
And remember, Middlesbrough fans, continue to have your say on your team after the Borough drew 0-0 away at Luton Town earlier. And our first commentary of the afternoon here on BBC Radio T Sport. Plenty of you have already been getting in touch throughout the course of the afternoon. Just going to read you out some of the messages that we got before we handed over to Rob and the team at Hartlepool for the Pools game. Bringing you second half commentary on that one soon. We'll start with this one. No name on this, but says that this is just awful. Yes, I know it could have been a lot worse. Other clubs have seen a lot harder times, but Borough fans only expect one one thing, whatever division, give it your all, show some desire and show some respect. I've just heard Michael Carrick's comments, which we'll hear once again at full time of the Hartlepool United game. That's it for me. Go Carrick, you are insulting us now. Ends in 3-3, that number. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Dean, a long-suffering Borough fan, says that it's been an awful afternoon, and Tony from Eston says that he's been banging on about the need for a solid, confident goalkeeper for years. We would have been promoted with Mark Travers, I reckon, 2 seasons ago. Yes, a fantastic performance this afternoon from the on-loan Borough goalkeeper Mark Travers, ensuring the Borough left Kenilworth Road with a point. We'll chat more Borough after full time in this half-time kick-off between Hartlepool United and Solihull Moors in the National League. Right, the Aston Villa forward Marcus Rashford has been named in Thomas Tuchel's first squad as England manager. Rashford last played for England in a friendly against Brazil in March 2024. Meanwhile, the Ajax midfielder Jordan Henderson returns to the 26-man squad, having last played for England against Malta back in November 2023, while the Newcastle defender Dan Burn and Arsenal's Miles Lewis-Skelly are also in line for debuts after receiving their first call-up. England start their qualifying campaign for the 2026 World Cup with a double-header at Wembley against Albania next Friday and Latvia the following Monday. Tuchel's been speaking to the BBC's football correspondent John Murray.
So here we are, Thomas Tuchel. Yeah. Big day. Biggest day so far for you as the England manager, the England head coach, naming your first squad. You talked about the strong debates that you had, emotional debates. What were the toughest calls?
Oh, wow. There are some tough ones. I mean, like not with likes of James Maddison, likes of Gibbs White and also Jacob Ramsey, but I'm sure that I miss out now on players that were also very, very close calls. They were all like disappointed, of course, but it was important for me to bring the message in person and that they hear it from me. Listen, there are many ways to justify a nomination. It can be on form, it can be on availability, of not being injured, of being injured, and then you're maybe not in the team, of being experienced, of being young. So in the end, it can depend on your position, and we had to take this decision. Conor Gallagher, of course, very, very different, a difficult call.
Yeah. He's not injured.
No, after his top match against Real Madrid. So, but there's huge concurrence on the positions. Every player understands that, and this is also a nice feeling that I got from these calls. Everyone knows he has to be on his top level to make the cut, and this is now the first cut that we had to do, and from there we build.
I must say, you raised a few eyebrows with some of the selections, and I would confess to you that I did wonder whether Jordan Henderson would play for England again. Did he wonder that himself?
Yes, he wondered that himself some weeks ago when I called him, and he was not shy to express that. If you saw the reaction yesterday when I called him in person to tell him that he should come on Monday to camp, it was then you know instantly that you picked the right person. The pride and to be back for England and to be in an England camp with an age of 30 plus with 80 plus caps is one of a kind, is outstanding, and it just proves that he brings what he brings to any team. He brings leadership, he brings personality, he brings character, he brings the right energy. This is what we want from him.
And similarly with Marcus Rashford, did he perhaps fear that there might not be a way back to England?
Maybe he did not say that to me, but maybe, yeah, he was pretty much unpickable in the last couple of seasons regarding the concurrence on his position, and he made a huge impact from the start at Aston Villa. He was very impressive as a substitute and very impressive with his presence, influencing games, assisting goals, bullying defenders, and the most important for me to see was the effort against the ball, was that he put in his body, he put in sprints, he puts in intensity off the ball. This is the most important. So now I felt that it is very important that we call him up and we keep him on track, and he feels that he is being pushed and from us. So that was the reason behind.
And on your uncapped players. Miles Lewis-Skelly, he's clearly impressed with the way that he's played. What about his personality as well and his character? I wonder what you thought of when he scored his goal against Manchester City, the way that he mimicked Erling Haaland's celebration.
Well,
what does that tell you?
That he's still young. That tells me that he's young and he follows his instincts, and he is. He maybe does not think twice, and that's a good thing. It maybe turns out sometimes that he overdoes it, or he does something that he maybe could have done better and more clever, in a more clever way. But listen, he's very, very young, so he will continue to do mistakes, and I think that's fair enough and well taken. He's very, very impressive. He's picked for Arsenal despite having huge concurrence on his position. He's picked on a very regular basis. He's playing with a lot of charisma. He's playing with a lot of freedom, and he's nothing but impressive. But even now that you mentioned, like Declan Rice took care of it, of his celebration straight away. So this is what talent needs. They need guidance. They need role models, and this is where Jordan Henderson, even like someone like Dan Burn, someone like Declan Rice come into play. Harry Kane come into play and need to take their responsibility and guide and help the boy to develop into his best version of himself.
And on Dan Burn, talk about Rashford and Henderson wondering if they would ever play for England again. Yeah. Dan Burn, surely must have thought that international football had passed him by.
I think he had more the feeling that he was overlooked from time to time, and I agreed with him, and it almost happened to me. I watched so many matches from Newcastle, because of course there are also other players for our squad in the team, and he plays so solid. He plays so solid on such a high level that it's that you get used to it. You get used to it, that he's not doing maybe the most spectacular game, but he's also not doing spectacular mistakes. So he plays so solid on such a high level, so consistently. He plays Champions League. He brings them to Champions League. Now he brings them to finals. He takes a very natural leadership role in the team, and it's nothing but impressive. And because you get so quickly used to it, it's obviously dangerous to overlook him. And he had the feeling that sometimes he was overlooked, and he was very confident, and was an impressive phone call that made me even more sure to pick him.
That was the England boss, Thomas Tuchel, there speaking to our BBC's football correspondent John Murray ahead of his first games as England manager next week against Albania and then Latvia the following Monday. Just before I hand back over to Robin Makeley for second half commentary on Hartlepool United versus Solihull in the National League, just bringing it up to date with the score in the Rugby Union Six Nations between Wales and England. England leading 54-7 at the Principality Stadium. 5 minutes left to play. Looks like England are heading for the top of the Six Nations standings before title favourites France play Scotland at 8 o'clock. Right, time to head back over to Hartlepool for second half commentary on Pools versus Solihull with Rob Law and Mickey Barron.
Thank you, Harry. Both teams out on the pitch. The ball is on the spot, and Adam Campbell is preparing to get us underway. The referee seems to be having an issue with his watches, so everybody's just all eyes on the referee, Gareth Rhodes, who's still waiting, and now he blows his whistle. There we go. He found his whistle. Maybe he was buried too deep in his pockets. But the second half is underway. It's Hartlepool United 0. It's Solihull Moors 0 on BBC Radio T Sport on 95 FM, DAB, digital radio, online via BBC Sounds and Freeview 714. Your second featured commentary of the afternoon after Middlesbrough drew 0-0 at Luton Town in the Championship. Also in the National League North, Spennymoor 3, Kingsland 0 and Peterborough Sports 4. Darlington 1. All full-time scores for you today. Just this one to be decided. And night has fallen. The street lights have come on around the ground. You can see it through the gaps of the stadiums. The block of flats over on the far side near the marina. You can see the lights on there as people get home from their day. On the pitch, Hartlepool United have to try and find a breakthrough and have to try and find a win. No win in 7 as Miley fires one into Desiree, who wins a corner. inside the area, does really well there, Desiree, to make something of that. A little low five between him and Joe Gray. And Poole start the second half brightly.
Yeah, it was a good ball from Miley, wasn't it? He's drilled it into Manny's feet, which is what you were speaking about in the first half, Rob. He wants some balls into his feet so he can manipulate, he can turn, and he did well to win a corner.
I like Jamie Miley. He's got something, quality, hasn't he? Yeah. And he is the man to take the corner. Miley gives a signal. A line of players in the centre of the box. It's headed on to the back post. It was Tom Parks who got the final touch, but it's cleared by Solihull. Back in by Miley. Hooked away, only as far as Campbell. Puts it up into the night sky. Hangs up, a good header from Parks. Right across the face of goal, and Joe Gray can't get there. Nathan Sheron fights for it, and the ball out for a goal kick, but again, so close, but so far. Yeah,
it was actually good defending from Cundy there at the back post a couple of times. He's cleared one. It wasn't the best of clearances. It's come back in from Campbell, and as the header's come across, he's got in front of I think it was Joe Gray, and just managed to get it to go out. But these are the chances that Hartlepool haven't been taken, Robin, and they've really got to start taking some of these chances.
Better so far, though, do you think? Not just in the second half, but in general from the last game you watched?
Yeah, I think so, Rob. I think it's still not brilliant, is it? It's still not a great watch, but they do create chances, and I think that's been sort of a theme through all the games recently. They do create chances, but they're not taking those chances, and then the other team will get one, and then makes it really hard. But they've got to just have someone in the position to take one of those chances, and they'll go on and win the game.
The ball out for throwing in front of the Cyril Knowles stand. Midway inside the Pool's half of play. 48 minutes on the clock, 0-0. Solihull with Clark. Held up by Duku, given away straight to Jamie Miley, who does well to turn away from danger, then fires the ball down the line towards Joe Gray. Gray can't keep hold of it. Miley fights for it. Campbell hooks it away into the feet of Joe Gray once more. Does really well to make something of that, Gray, and then he plays in. Riaz Cleary inside the box at the angle. It's tight, and it's put behind for a Pool's corner. Good defending there by Alex Whitmore. Stayed with Cleary every step of the way, shoulder to shoulder. Cleary driving forward, but Whitmore stood strong, stood tall, and nudged it behind for a corner.
Yeah, Joe Gray did really well to turn and play that ball, but it was always slightly behind Cleary, and then he sort of couldn't build up that momentum because he's waiting for the ball. He's trying to take it past Whitmore there, and a really good defending from Whitmore, because that's a hard situation to be in.
Another Pool's corner, the second in quick succession at the start of this first half. Into the front post by Miley. Ferguson keeps it moving, but has put it straight out of play for a Solihull throw-in as the temperature just dips.
I think the set pieces, Rob, have been good in general. That one wasn't so good, but Parks is a real threat, isn't he? And then he often, if he doesn't go for the ball, he'll take the biggest player away, which leaves Manny a chance to go and get it. And it looks like a set piece might be where they can open up Solihull.
Oh, Duku gets wiped out there by Tom Parks. And I think, well, I did wonder if we might see the first booking of the game there from Gareth Rhodes, the official, but he's certainly going to have a word with Parks. I think that is very much your final warning, sir.
Yeah, I think it was a booking for me. Yes, he's late, he's taken him out, and it should have been a booking.
Interviewed Tom Parks in midweek. Asked him about his shoulder, because you always see him sort of manipulating his shoulder when he has aerial duels. As a free kick comes into the Pool's penalty area, headed away by Campbell. A shot from Sutherland that's blocked and then cleared up to Joe Gray. Makes something of that, does really well, Gray. He's got 4 yellow shirts around him, and the yellow shirts come away with it. Oakley on this near side manages to keep it in, does well. Miley and Stevenson combine to win possession and clear the ball up the field. Now Newton, the Moors left back, into the centre of midfield. Clark does really well to nudge the ball around Nathan Sheron, and Duku is shouting for it, but Sheron comes across and nudges his man down to the floor, and that is going to be a Solihull Moors free kick in a very inviting position. It's bang centre, and it's 25 yards out.
Yeah, brilliant from Clark there. It's really good midfield play. And Solihull look like they've got players to play a little bit more. I know Andy Wigner played, didn't they? In fact, they overplayed at times, but Clark looks good when he gets the ball. That was a brilliant turn because everyone thought he was going to play it back, and he's moved the ball the other way and driven it, but it's just almost like they're not allowed to play at times.
Ollie Tipton stood over the ball menacingly. Pools wall is in position. It's over that wall and over the crossbar into the travelling Solihull Moors fans over on the far side. The rink end, which Pools are housed in this second 45. So they're attacking the favoured town end, which is over to our right. 52 minutes on the clock. Pools 0, Solihull Moors 0 in the National League. You can see Matthew Taylor, the Moors boss, over on the far side, arms folded, surveying the scene.
Got to win that, good header.
As Sass Davies does win it in the air. Louis Stevenson tries to get hold of that one. Again, he's just mobbed from 2 yellow shirts though. Sutherland now to Newton. It's all happening in the Pools half of the pitch. Tipton is dispossessed and Manny Desirue has it at his feet as he holds it up. Does really well. Has to use every ounce of his strength there, Desirue, and wins the free kick. Manny Desirue, he's lost a glove in that tangle, but how will his shirts last through through a game? I have no idea, because they're constantly being pulled and tugged and stretched and strained. Certainly a good test of the fibre.
Yeah, it's such a good skill to have as a centre forward, what he's got, Rob, to be able to hold the ball up, but he moves the ball as well, and all the defenders can do in situations like is foul him, and he gets so many free kicks from it.
Pools free kick then, just right of centre, midway inside the Moors half. Miley stood over it with the bright orange boots under the floodlights. Floated into the back post, header from Parks! Oh, Tom Parks! That is just what Hartlepool United needed. It's just what everybody needed after this week, after that news. But Pools are in front, and a moment of light relief for the supporters and everybody connected with the club. It was Jamie Miley who floated it into the area, and Tom Parks, who's been a threat all game long from set pieces, proves that threat once more, and this time a looping header which went over Ollie Wright and into the net to give Pools a lead. It's Pools 1, Solihull 0.
Yeah, it's all about the ball in from Miley. We said that set pieces were going to be somewhere where they could score. He's drilled that ball in to just outside the 6-yard box. The Solihull defender's got underneath the ball. Parks has recognised that. He's come over and he's just looped the header over the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's got no chance. A good goal from Hartlepool, but really poor defending from Solihull.
Tom Parks with his second goal of the season, and now Matthew Taylor, the Moors boss, is seen enough and is readying some changes, but the atmosphere just changing slightly in the ground tonight following that goal. It is a week that has once again tested the patience of many Pools fans. It's certainly raised a lot of questions about the future of the football club, but one thing that can help put pave to that, at least momentarily, a little bit of light relief, is if the team does well on the pitch. And a goal early in this second half is just what the doctor ordered. Yeah, but they've got to go on and get that second one, Rob. They've been in front at times this season and then get pegged back, and it's 1-1, and they've got to go on now and really take the game to Solihull. Parks has just scored and he's just given away an absolute ridiculous foul in a really positive. He didn't have to grab hold of the player there, he could just defend it, but he's given away a free kick, and this is a dangerous situation now. It's a Solihull free kick. I think they might be waiting to make this change first of all. Well, they can't decide whether they're going to. I think they want to, Rob, but the players, no one on the far side. Well, that was bizarre because Ollie Tipton wanted to make the change, but it didn't come. Solihull with the free kick, whipped into the area, headed away by Desirue. Cleary gets underneath it, Back into the area it comes. Once again, Desiree is there to head her out into touch, and now you'd think that Solihull Moors will be able to make the change. That seemed like the players on the pitch wanted to make the change, but almost the bench weren't ready to make the change or didn't want the change to happen yet. Either way, the change is now being made. And it's all clear as mud.
I think the bench wanted it, Rob, but the linesman was down the far side, and the fourth official didn't look like he knew how to get the player on. But as you say, it's all resolved now. Again, just going back to Manny there, two fantastic defensive headers there. A ball in that was really good. He's headed from the 6-yard box. The next ball comes and he wins that header as well.
As John Bostock has come on to replace Josh Labadie. So first change, the first roll of the dice has been made by Matthew Taylor from either bench really. Pools making just the one change coming into this afternoon's game, and that was an enforced change. Dan Dodds with a hamstring injury, replaced by Louis Stevenson. More on that shortly. Stevenson has his hands full at the minute as he closes down and clatters into a challenge. Does really well to win it there, and that draws the fans to their feet. And I think Louis Stevenson has hurt himself in that challenge as he's limping so heavily. Campbell wins it. Now Joe Gray strides forward with purpose, being quickly closed down by Clark. Gray wins it once again as the ball bounces inside the area, but it's hooked away. Sharon heads it forward into the midriff of Gray. Desiree opens his body up. It rebounds. Desiree and Gray both can't meet the ball as it's spilled inside the area, and just nobody could get hold of it. And it's cleared deep into the Pools half of play. Well, that was an utterly bizarre passage of play with just nobody seemingly able to keep hold of the ball as Joe Newton receives it on the halfway line for the Moors. Now to Sutherland. Stands up. Stevenson hooked into the back post. A header from Duku. Spilled by Smith and gathered at the second attempt. Duku did really well to leap between the two centre-backs, headed it down into the turf. Smith fumbled it at first, but the second time he leapt on top of the ball to protect it from the on-rushing Manny Duku.
Yeah, it was a great ball in. It was curved away from the goalkeeper so he couldn't come and get it, and Duku got up really well above Parks. He's headed it down, but Smith was there, the right side of the goal, to make a save.
Just on the change, or the one change today for Anthony Limbrick. You think, hold that thought, because Reyes Cleary is off on one again down the left hand side. He's got two yellow shirts around him. They're trying to double up on him, and it's worked. As now Solihull Moors look to come away, and David Ferguson has fouled his man. Do you think maybe Anthony Limbrick is learning that chopping and changing every single week in the numbers that he did is not working, to put it bluntly?
I don't think any team that could handle 3, 4, 5 changes each week.
15 changes in 4 games it was.
Yeah, and it's almost like the manager's searching for something, isn't it? That he's unsure what his best sort of 11 or formation is, and I think when you're confident in your team, you know, apart from if there's any injuries, what team you're going to play, and I think he has to try and sort that now.
Louis Stevenson does really well to win it. Campbell feeds Desiree, right hand side, cuts it back. Joe Gray's shot is blocked and takes a wicked deflection, and the Moors trying to work it away. Sutherland shows tidy footwork into Bostock, and now Tipton. Pools pressing high up the pitch. Bostock stepping out from the back. Looks to switch it out to this near side. Tipton. Now Sutherland rolls his studs over the ball and then tries to drive past Stevenson, but Stevenson does well to stay with him. Closes him back towards the corner flag and forces the pass to Tipton. Looks to deliver into the area, headed away by Sass Davies. Bostock is there to just keep hold of possession for the yellow shirts of Solihull Moors under the floodlights in Hartlepool. And it's Solihull who are trying to put the Pools goal under pressure now, but struggling to find a ball that can break through the Pools defence. Whitmore, the captain, out to this near side with Sutherland, skips infield, a little shove from Stevenson there. There's a cross into the box from Tipton, is easily cleared, and boomed away by David Ferguson, and now Pools push up the pitch. And the ball all the way back with Oliver Wright.
It's really strange, Rob. Solihull were quite direct first off, and now it looks like they're in fact overplaying at times and putting the ball at risk, but they look like they're going to come and play second half and try and play through Hartlepool, which have done a couple of times.
Newton crossing the halfway line for Moores. Tipped in once more. Pools sitting ever so deep at the minute, Mickey, and that's going to only invite the pressure on, as Jamie Miley does really well to latch onto a mistake there, and Stevenson wins a free kick. And you've got to say, Louis Stevenson, I mean, being impressed. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I've always liked him, Robert. Every game I've seen him play, he does well. He's athletic, he gets up and down. I think he's still struggling off that 50-50 challenge he did 2 or 3 minutes ago. He's hobbling. It'll be the inside of his shin probably where he's tackled him, but I think we got to this stage last year, Rob, and I was saying just play him for the rest of the season, give him 10 games a row, and I think he's been slightly unlucky to be sent out on loan, but hopefully he can stay in the team now.
Joe Gray just miscued his pass towards Desirue there. Desirue he worked so hard off the ball, and there again closing down Oliver Wright, the Moors goalkeeper, and forcing a mistake. And now, as a result of that work from Desirue, Pools have a free kick high up the pitch in enemy territory.
Yeah, Matty Taylor will be fuming with the players there. There's no reason to go back to the goalkeeper there. Both centre halves could have played forward. They take the easy option, go back to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper tries to clear it, hits a bobble, gives possession away.
Jamie Miley gets a shove in the back, and Pools have won a free kick about a yard in from the touchline on this near side.
Just going back to Miley, Robert, the one sort of question mark I had about him coming from an academy like Newcastle is the physical side of the game. Can he do that? We know he's going to be technically good, he's going to have a good range of passing. I think he's settled in really well, and I think the games he's played, he's managed that physical side of it sort of really well, so he's one that's definitely impressed me.
Makes you wonder why he hasn't been put in the team sooner.
Yeah, 100%, yeah, and he gives you legs in there, doesn't he? He gives you that energy in midfield.
Free kick for Pools. Ferguson swings one in. It's right on top of the goalkeeper, who has to arch his back to grasp that one, and he does so. Keeps tight hold of it as well.
He's done well, the keeper.
He has.
A young lad coming in on loan. He's had a really good game so far.
Just 22 years of age, loan from Southampton. 22 is no age for a goalkeeper either, is it?
No, I think goalkeepers are probably in the prime as a get towards 30, if not any after that as well. So yeah, 22 is an age where you're just learning still.
And the attendance today was always going to be interesting given the news in midweek, and you mentioned Phil, the fan that you know, who's given the news in midweek of Raj Singh resigning, has turned up to his first Pools game for 7 years today. Well, the attendance 3,959. That includes 53 who've travelled from Solihull. So 3,959, which is a good effort.
Yeah, it's an improvement on sort of recent ones as well, Rob, isn't it? And obviously you've got a different kick-off time as well. It's on the telly, so well done the Poolies away. Yeah.
And yet yet further evidence of the club going forward, just showing exactly what untapped potential there potentially is here. But Newton on the attack for Solihull Moors, gets it back on this near side. Solihull working, probing, trying to find a way through, but Joe Gray's work and Louis Stevenson working ever so hard on this near side to press, close down and force Solihull back up the pitch.
Sorry, Rob, I'm just worried about how deep Hartlepool are. They're just almost since they've scored, they've just retreated 20 or 30 yards.
Newton with a cross to the 6-yard area. Duku arriving, and it was Sass Davies who was diving in there to put the ball behind for a corner to the visitors, and that was danger.
Yes, excuse me, Rob, but this is sort of what we're saying about you go 1-0 up. Do you want to go 2-0 and 3-0 up, or do you want to try and hang on and win the game? I think if they just sit deeper and deeper and deeper, they're just inviting Solihull.
He's all right, everyone. He just needs a swig of water. Hold that thought. Solihull with a corner, bossed up to deliver. It's an outswinger. It comes all the way through, and Pools have won a free kick there. And Mickey Barron is back in the building. Everybody, thumbs up. He's good to go. you
Thanks
okay?
for your concern, Rob.
Substitution for Solihull Moors, off number 37, Reese Hall-Johnson. His replacement, number 20, Fletcher Foreman.
So change then for Solihull Moors. Off goes Reese Hall-Johnson, the man who cleared a disarray effort off the line in the first half. He's been replaced by Fletcher Holman, who comes on to replace him.
Yeah, I think Oakley's just dropped back to right back, Rob, and Holman's just going in that right hand side.
You are okay now?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Okay, that's good. We might have to parachute in a replacement almost, as the offside flag is up. It's chaos, utter chaos. I thought you were being handed like a tissue there or something to say it.
I only had a cough.
Waving the white flag.
No, because my wife will be getting concerned.
No, he's fine. He's absolutely fine.
Oh no!
As we said that, well, we said he's absolutely fine. Mickey is, but the game has been halted because we have, it would seem, a floodlight failure or a power cut. Everything, all the lights went off. The stadium was plunged into darkness. Mickey Barron's got his torch out on his phone, and although the lights in the stand have come back on, I think I'm right in saying that only one floodlight has come back on, and I think it's the floodlight away to our right hand side. I think the floodlights over to our left, the rink end, have yet to come back on. And this is not a time to make jokes about bills being paid or not being paid.
No. How do you know that floodlight's on?
I think, well, I'm guessing it is from the light that is on the right hand side of the pitch, but it's a very dull light, so I'm assuming that one of them is on. We can't see, because if you've ever been to the back of the Neil Cooper stand, if you've ever been to Hartlepool before, you'll know that the Neil Cooper stand has the roof sort of outstretches and then curls down in front of you, so from where we are we can't actually see the floodlights. Mickey Barron, I'm going to give Mickey Barron license to go and have a look. It's going to be our eyes and our ears. He's our roving reporter, is Mickey Barron, as he's going to survey the scene. But a lot of fans now have all put their lights on their phones, trying to provide a bit of illumination, is that the word? A bit of light, a bit of levity to the situation. But meanwhile, both sets of players are over in the technical areas. A break in play while we try to find out what has gone on. Our roving reporter is back, Mickey Barron. What can you see?
I'm saying there's 40% of the lights working. So
on all
of them, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's clicked into some sort of safety mode or whatever it is, but it's definitely not 100%.
So there's just a few bulbs not working. Yeah. I'm not an electrician.
Sounds
clearly.
like your class, then.
Yeah, absolutely. Is
now a good time to talk about?
No. As well, if you are Anthony Limbrick in this situation, likewise if you are Matthew Taylor in this situation,
today's match attendance.
It's a great time for the match attendance.
959. Pulse fans, thank you for your support.
Comedy of moments.
Solihull fans who made the journey.
Just confirmation of the 3,959 in attendance, including 53 who've travelled from Solihull. But if you are Anthony Limbrick or Matthew Taylor at this point, I mean, what do you do? Have you ever been in a situation like this?
I don't think I have, Rob. No, we've obviously had games stopped due to sort of injuries and things like that, and sometimes injuries can go on for sort of 10 minutes if it's a serious one, but not for a floodlight. I think you've just got to sort of keep telling them to try and keep warm, but I'm sure they'll be trying to find out how long it's going to be. But it's tough because they're all just stood around, aren't they? All just having a chat, and you just don't know, do you? Don't know how long it's going to be. So I don't know whether there's a set time. I remember a couple of seasons ago, one of the Turnbull twins actually fixed the floodlights at one of their games. I remember seeing that on Facebook. But
well, we did have the moment, and now it's clearly. I mean, I can see people rushing around in and out of the tunnel over on the far side. But
it's quite a nice atmosphere.
The PA announcer, the man in charge of the PA, Greg, has given up to playing some music for fans who are swaying the lights on their camera phones from side to side.
Surely there's a song about darkness.
Yes. Well, I mean, again, also it begs a question from a Pools perspective. As much as you don't want a floodlight failure, it probably comes at a good time because Solihull were really piling on the pressure.
Yeah, they were starting to sort of play a little bit more football, Rob. They were getting in between Hartlepool's midfield and defence and sort of trying to get the ball out wide and put a couple of dangerous balls in. So yeah, it'll probably disrupt them more than it will Hartlepool.
And just both sets of players still over in their respective dugouts. All the officials are over there as well, so the linesman, the fourth official, the referee, all there. Meanwhile, Billy Sass-Davies and Tom Parks are out in the centre of the pitch.
Oh, they're going off.
Just trying to limber up, but both sets of teams are heading to the tunnel, and we do have a break in play, which means with what I think there was 68 minutes on the clock when play was stopped, when the floodlights went out. Hartlepool United leading by a goal to nil thanks to a second half header from Tom Parks. The free kick swung in by Jamie Miley, met by Parks as the ball looped up into the air and over Oliver Wright to give Pools a lead. Solihull Moors responded well and pressing high up the pitch and asking a lot of questions of Pools defensively. Pools sitting very, very deep and almost inviting the pressure on. So this break has come at a good time for Anthony Limbrick's men, but with the teams heading back to the tunnel, it seems like we are in for a fairly lengthy stoppage until somebody can change a couple of light bulbs.
Yeah, they wouldn't take them in, Rob, if it was going to be a couple of minutes. So hopefully we'll not see them come back out, but yeah, as I say, it could be a lengthy spell.
Well, if you were hoping to get home in time for match of the day, it might be a bit of a stretch. We'll see how long this goes on for. I know, Harry, you were standing by, but definitely it's never dull covering Pools unless you are at Victoria Park, where it is very dull because there's no lights.
It's never straightforward, is it? I mean, the other week we had those advertising boards being ripped off, and that miraculously got sorted out, and now we have this. So
I know it's certainly, like I say, there's always something, but the fact that it has happened at the on the week when it has, and I think I can see a few more light bulbs sort of flickering into gear now. That it's just got a little bit brighter, but it is still it's the floodlights away to our left hand side seem to be flickering back into gear, but still very much not bright enough for the game to restart, I wouldn't think, Mickey Barron. There's still big sort of patches of darkness, especially on this near side, it feels.
Yeah, it's definitely getting brighter, but as you say, the right hand side of where we are hasn't kicked in yet, but I'm sure they'll go in a sort of loop, won't they, and come back on.
Well, is that technical terms then?
Yeah, yes. All electricians use that.
Were you an electrician in your former life?
No.
About to see if you were, Mickey, get yourself round there.
I know, yeah.
Offer me services.
He's got a couple of spare double A's in his pocket that he can go and put in the meter.
The players have come back out, so I think.
Thank you, Harry. We've between us all. That's teamwork, everybody. That is. Thank you. But yes, the lights are now slowly coming back on. It seemed initially like a power cut as the lights and everything went off. I mean, thankfully we stayed on air. But then the floodlights seem to tick off again, and here is the announcement.
Public announcement, please be patient, we are working on the problem, please bear with us, thank you.
But it's great that announcement came after the problem was already sorted, but at least the communication was there eventually. The lights are now back to their full capacity.
Whoever that was is as bad as time as I am an electrician.
yes. Well, both teams back out on the pitch, and in fact the Solihull Moors players, they've actually got some cones out on their side of the pitch and going through a little bit of a warm-up routine. So we make that round about a 10-minute delay so far, give or take. So a fair bit of stoppage time will be added on at the end of this first half for sure. But once again, it is never dull following Hartlepool United.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to make a sub, Rob, as well. Charman's over on the far side, stripped off, so looks like he's going to bring a sub on.
Thank you to Jeff, who's been in touch in Hartlepool. He says he lives half a mile from Victoria Park, and there was a power surge at his home too. He experienced a power surge as well, so clearly some issues in the local area, and not in any way related to bills that have or have not been paid.
Is that an electrician's term, a power surge?
Well, apparently so. It's what Jeff says.
If there was a power surge, that sounds like you're getting more electricity than you should. So surely the light should have gone brighter.
I'm not quite sure that is maybe how it works. But electricians, if you're listening, text 81333 and start the message with the word light. No, I'm joking, the word is tease. Or you can find us on social media at BBC T Sport or at Rob Law Tees is where you'll find me personally on there, if anybody has any electrician banter.
Well, one of my best friends from school is an electrician, and Mrs. Barron's opening a shop in Chessie Street in the next few weeks, and he's coming tomorrow to look at the lights, so I'm going to ask him.
There you go.
There we are.
We'll report back.
Yep. Paul Lockie, the best electrician in Chessie Street.
I wondered where that was going then. It's like my mate who I went to school with one time once said...
No, it's a true story.
For Hartlepool United, off number 12, Joe Gray.
So a change,
his replacement,
not just to the light bulbs, but of personnel. Joe Gray goes off. He has been replaced by Luke Charman, and the floodlights are functioning once more. Power surge or not, Hartlepool United will certainly be hoping that they can find another goal to put a bit of space between themselves and Solihull Moors. But as we said, Mickey, that break, that floodlight failure maybe came at a good time for Anthony Limbrick's men.
Yeah, definitely. I think the change is probably a good one as well, because Charman will give you a lot more energy down this side. Joe done well today, but he's looked like he was tiring a little bit. So I'm just surprised at Solihull. They've totally changed how they're playing in the second half. They've gone sort of playing out from the back, trying to play through the lines, and totally different to the first half.
And a few cold touches from players with a 10-minute stoppage. It will have an effect, won't it? You think initially, at least.
Yeah, it does, Robin. And do you know what? It's sometimes if you're carrying a little knock, or you might be a bit more conscious about it in the cold, because it is a cold night now, can affect that a little bit, and it'll take them a minute or two to get back into the game.
Well, nobody has reset the scoreboard quite as yet, so we're on 80 minutes, but there's very much still 20 minutes at least left to play. As Bostock out to the left-hand side for Sutherland. Rolls his studs over the top of the ball. Tries to get a cross away, low into the area, and he does, but it's cleared by Parks. Out to Newton in the left-back position. And then Nathan Sharon clatters into a challenge and wins it. Campbell, heavy back pass there that asked a lot of Louis Stevenson, who searches down the line, but no blue and white shirt in the vicinity. Manny Desirue will close his man down, but Solihull able to work it back to goalkeeper Ollie Wright and build from the back.
He did well, Stevenson, there, because you give him the ball in a real tight area, and he managed to work it out really well.
Well, the atmosphere has taken a bit of a dent while the floodlights have flickered back into operation.
There's a bit of a lull, isn't there, Robbie? It's a bit like unsure, because I think everyone in the ground can feel that Solihull are getting on top of the game a little bit, and it's up to Hartlepool to try and wrestle that back in their favour.
Nice. Adam Campbell hits a diagonal ball for the fresh legs of Luke Charman, controls the edge of the area onto his left foot, then scoots back onto his right. The shot is blocked by Newton, and Pools have a corner, their 6th of the game.
I just wish in them circumstances there, Rob, the Charman would shoot with his left foot. As he's coming on the right hand side, he chops onto his left. Just take that shot every now and again with that left foot. It might not be his strongest foot, but have a shot, because he always chops back, and that gives the defender a chance to block that shot.
Thank you to Anthony, who's been in touch. Just says my TV went off too. Depends on what you were watching, Anthony. It might not be a bad thing. As corner to Pools, David Ferguson to take it. Left footed into the front post. Charman was there, but he headed it wide of the mark by some margin, and it remains Pools 1, Solihull Moors 0. Woody has been in touch on social media. He says no power surge down under, but it's dark outside. Thank you for that one, Woody. And Paul says there's no way there's near 39,000 in that ground. Yes, it's clearly they count season ticket holders as well, and there are some sparsely populated areas, specifically of the Cyril Knowles stand, you would say.
There's definitely not 39,000.
Yeah, sorry, 3,900. It's been a long day. It's been a dark day. There's definitely not 39,000. I don't think you'd ever get 39,000 in here. If you did, something's probably gone seriously wrong. As Reyes Cleary picks up possession on the touchline in front of the Cyril Knowles stand, skipping infield. Campbell helps it on its way, but it's easily dealt with by the Moors. Pools with Ferguson. See the ball go out for a throw-in.
He just hasn't got the ball clear his second half, has he? He's unable to get the ball out to that side to give him a run at players like he did in the first half.
So throw into Solihull, midway inside their own half. Down the line it goes. Ferguson fighting for possession. Cleary winning it and then being fouled as well. I'm just looking to the Pools bench. So we've seen the introduction of Luke Charman. Also on the bench, Anthony Mancini, Gary Medine, Greg Sloggett, Nicky Featherstone and Sam Falarin. And you look at that bench, I mean, that's a strong bench.
It is, yeah. I was looking at it before, Rob, thinking there's a lot of good players on there, but who changes the game at the moment, you know? Like, would you risk Mancini coming on into a game like this where he hasn't probably trained very much? Medine could probably swap for Manny, but Manny looks fit, he looks strong, so why would you take him off? And sometimes there's nothing wrong with not making subs. I think if the game's going how you want, and you don't have to make those subs.
Solihull Moors clear the ball out into touch. Pulls with the throw in on the halfway line. BBC Radio T Sport then on 95 FM, DAB digital radio. We're on Freeview 714 and on BBC Sounds Online. You can listen to us however you like, wherever you like on BBC Sounds, as Luke Charman wins a header flicked onto Dizarouwe, back into the path of Charman, but a good sliding tackle from Joe Newton to win it. And then Solihull Moors have given it away, but it cannoned off the feet of Dizarouwe. And Pools trying to win possession back, and they do with Sheron. Infield to Miley, fires it first time to Dizarouwe again, a heavy touch off his chest, and gives possession away to the yellow shirts of Solihull, who work it through the midfield with Doku. Out to the right hand side as they try to stretch the play and find a way through. Reyes Cleary's been nutmegged and has fouled his man as he tried to go past him and given away a free kick. And it was Fletcher Holman there who got the better of the West Bromwich Albion loanee.
They look a good team now, Rob, don't they, Solihull? They look comfortable, confident on the ball, are passing it into midfield. People are getting in tight areas and moving it, and they look so much better than they did in the first half.
Bostock floats this one into the area, headed away by Dizarouwe, helped on by Miley, but it drops to the yellow shirts again. And Solihull Moors, Joe Newton takes a heavy first touch. Bostock gets it at the base of the centre circle. Now Doku Back to Bostock. Midway inside the Pools half, drifting out to the right-hand side. Now Holman goes past Cleary, and Cleary's fouled him again. And it's another free kick for the visitors. And this will ask questions of Pools defensively.
Yeah, they've just not put that really good quality ball in an area where someone can go and attack. I think it's been comfortable for the centre halves or Manny to come and head the ball because it's been in front of them, and they need to try and whip this one in behind the defenders for someone to go and run on. Hartlepool got a really high line here on the edge of the box.
Bostock stood over it. It's going to be a left-footed delivery. Manny Dizarouwe, Sass Davies, all back, as is Tom Parks. In comes a delivery. It is a good ball, and it's a good goal. And it's that man once again. Manny Duku makes it 3 goals in 2 games. Gets his head on the end of the delivery. It was low past Smith. He rose well, did Duku. Finished well. And it's a goal that draws Solihull Moors level. It's Pools 1, it's Solihull 1.
Yeah, it was a good ball in, Rob, but I was concerned about the high line. It almost gave the Solihull player an area to play the ball into. And once Duku got that side of the defenders, he was never going to miss. It was a header, he's going to head it down from 6 yards, but the line was just too high for me. Give them an opportunity. I've been impressed with Duku. I think he's led the line well and he's took his goal well there, but yeah, silly free kick to give away from Cleary in the first place. That's something he needs to improve on, that sort of game management. And then I was a bit concerned with how high that line was.
Manny Duku, a new arrival to Solihull Moors, made an impact in his first start against Ebbsfleet in midweek, got a brace, and he's just got an equaliser under the floodlights in the northeast as Pools make a change and Adam Campbell goes off.
And please welcome to the pitch number 8, Anthony Mancini.
And it's a return of the fan favourite, the flying Frenchman, the magician, the man that can, Anthony Mancini, returning from injury. And if there is a game where Pools could do with that little bit of French flair, that little bit of je ne sais quoi, that va-va-voom, then this is the game. And Anthony Mancini is the man you would hope to provide it, Mickey Barron.
Yeah, it is. And the trouble is, Rob, we've said this too many times with Mancini, and where he's coming back from injury. He has a run of games and then he always seems to pick up injuries. He's a wonderful talent, everyone knows that, but we've got to get him on the ball, we've got to get the ball into his feet so he can run and attack the players.
As Bostock headers it straight to Manny Dizarouwe inside the Solihull half, out to Charman, Mancini, Reyes Cleary, all inside the box. Charman wants the overlapping run from Mancini, who then does provide it. Back into Charman. That's a good touch. It's a good strike and it's touched over. The save from Oliver Wright, but Charman and Mancini combining. And Charman testing the reflexes of Wright in the Solihull goal.
Yeah, it was a good play from Mancini. He's just slipped it into Charman in the box, a little bit of composure. He's had a touch to his right. He's hit it hard at the goalkeeper. It's a good height for the goalkeeper, centre of the goal, and he's tipped it over. It's a good save, but Charman could try and prosecute in the corner, but really good save.
Corner, Miley delivers right on top of the goalkeeper, who punches away. Comes out to Louis Stevenson, flicked on by Charman. Desperately cleared by Solihull Moors, might fall for Tom Parks, hooked away by Whitmore, hangs up in the air. Mancini, neither side can settle the ball down on the turf. Now Sharon tries to, and his through ball was denied, and Sharon drags back Duku, and that's going to be a yellow card, you'd think.
A minimum of 14 minutes at a time.
14 minutes of stoppage time, which we are into now. Due to the floodlight failure. If you're just joining us, you've missed all the fun. Midway through the second half, Pools leading by 1-0. A power surge apparently that caused. You're still not having that, are you? Nope. It's a loop. But a floodlight failure, which meant for a lengthy delay. Solihull, since the restart, have equalised. Pools have made changes as they try desperately for a win. As Stevenson down the right hand side tries to find Charman at the byline, and he does, cuts it back, might arrive for Mancini, but nobody can get their foot on the end of it. Riaz Cleary wins possession to the back post. Charman, and it's headed behind by Robbie Cundy, but Charman did ever so well at the byline, received it from Stevenson, and nobody there to profit from the delivery. A Pools corner, their 8th of the game, swung in by Miley. Desirue gets a touch, it comes out to this near side for Mancini. 14 minutes of stoppage time. Mancini stands his man up, dips a shoulder, does well, into Desirue's feet in the front post, cuts it back to the back post. Cleary swings his boot and misses, and then Bostock can run it away from the goal and up to Duku, and now Pools are stretched and trying to get back. Duku skipping infield, but Miley does ever so well to win possession. Both players remain down. Mancini feeds a run of Desirue, but it was just behind him, and John Newton wins it, but then he gives it away to Cleary, and he can't keep hold of it, and Bostock has possession for Solihull Moors inside his own half.
Yeah, it's all happening, Rob, wasn't it, from the chance for Charman. I think Charman can score there with his head. I think he can head it down into the goal, but head it to the back post.
"14 minutes of stoppage time, 2 have elapsed. It's 1-1 on BBC Radio T Sport. It's Hartlepool United against Solihull Moors in the National League, and you get the feeling that the game is now. We've waited 92 minutes for a game to break out. It breaks out in 14 minutes of stoppage time.
There's a little bit of excitement in the game now, Rob, isn't it? It looks almost like both teams think they can go on and win it, and Hartlepool need to step on now. They need to try and get the ball into Cleary or Mancini in those dangerous areas.
Pools perhaps readying changes of their own as Charman wins the header into Mancini down this right hand side, skips, twists, turns towards the byline into the 6-yard area, and touched behind for another Pools corner.
Yeah, that's what he can do, Mancini, and he gets the ball in these wide areas especially, and he goes and he attacks people. He goes left, he goes right, and they played a quick corner. Solihull have switched off here, and
Pools have taken a quick corner. Mancini gets it back from Sharon, cleared by Solihull. Miley intercepts, Ferguson delivers, Desirue there, but he can't find a way through to goal, and instead it's wide of the right hand post, and Desirue pulls himself to his feet, adjusts his socks, and lets out a big puff of air, because that was an opportunity, and it remains 1-1.
Number 16, Nicky Featherstone.
Yeah, I'm Manny's biggest fan, Rob, but he's got to score there. He's in front of the defender. He's just got to make contact with the ball and put it into the goal, because as I say, he's in front of the defender, and it's a chance he should score.
Well, the boos you can hear are because Oliver Wright, the Southampton keeper, is seemingly struggling with a touch of cramp.
Yeah, that's unusual, isn't it?
For a goalkeeper to get cramp, it must, certainly a unique situation. And how ironic it is that while he's getting treatment for cramp, Matthew Taylor has all of his players pretty much over in his technical area and giving them some information and instructions. Pools have made a change. In the meantime, Jamie Miley has gone off and Nicky Featherstone has come on to replace him. And Jamie Miley, Mickey, this afternoon I thought has been brilliant.
Yeah, he has. I think he's got around the pitch well. He's won his tackles, he's won his headers, he showed quality on the ball, whether that's in his passing or with a set piece, and I've been impressed with him. I think the keeper here, though, I know he's a young lad, but go down with a hamstring or something. He might have cramp, but make out that it's something else, and I'm sure it's something you'll learn over time.
Well, Bradley Stevenson is coming on. Ethan Sutherland going off.
14, Bradley Stevenson.
So That's the third change by Matthew Taylor. And Manny Duku remains on the pitch. Manny Duku is an incredible story. So he played in the National League South with Maidstone. Played in the National League for Wealdstone. And then in July, he had signed for the Northern Premier League Division 1 West side, Hednesford Town. Scored 19 goals in 38 games in all competitions, and has been picked up by Solihull Moors and scored 3 in 2 now.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him today, Rob. He's a good size, he holds the ball up well, he makes decent runs, and as you say, he got a chance there and he put it away really well. I've been impressed. It's nice to see someone coming up through the ranks, isn't it, and taking the chance.
Absolutely, and at the ripe old age of 32 as well. So
is he?
Yeah.
Really?
He doesn't look 32.
No, he doesn't. I thought he was going to be early 20s, but
he certainly made an impression here tonight in the northeast. And Pools have a free kick. Alex Whitmore judged to have fouled his man. So Pools with an opportunity in the centre of the pitch, midway inside the Moors half, and yet again it's a very high defensive line. We're into the 97th minute.
See, Rob, sorry to cut across, this is what I don't understand from Limerick. He's brought Featherstone on for Miley. Why not just put on an extra attacker and really go for it? And now he's going to bring Medine on for someone else, but you don't need 2 defensive midfielders now. Just have one, have Sharon, put Medine up front, get an extra body up front and really go for the win.
Well, he's going to make the change then, Limerick, but then he decided against it. Ferguson with the free kick towards Sass Davies, comes all the way through in an easy collection for the Moors goalkeeper. And it looks like it's going to be Gary Medine for, it looks Louis Stevenson. Just looking over at the 4th officials board, the numbers are programmed on it, they're beaming out into the night sky. It looks like number 21.
Stevenson. So then Hunter Sharon, sorry, will probably go to back there, but then why not just don't bring Featherstone on?
So it looks like that'll be a change to a back 4. Nathan Sharon at right back, Sass Davies, Tom Parks your central defensive pairing, David Ferguson at left back. Then you would think it would be what, 4-4-2 maybe?
Yeah, I just find the subs so quick together, like almost a sub for the sake of bringing Featherstone on, and then you change formation and bring Medine on, where you could easily just take Miley off and put Medine on and change it like that.
Or it could be a 4-2-3-1 as well, of course, as Tipton first Moors, big deep cross into the Bulls penalty area, comes all the way through to the far side, and Cleary can fire it upfield. Desiree does well to make something of that, just short of the halfway line. Sharon keeps the ball moving out to this near side, and now Charman charges forward across the halfway line, does well, picks out Mancini. Pools trying to quicken the pace. Mancini into Charman, who's been positive since he's come on. Featherstone, his first real touches to pick out a pass for David Ferguson as Cleary turns his man and is having his shirt pulled, and that's surely a free kick, and it is.
He just got too tight with him. He wanted to get tight because he thought the ball was going into his feet. Clearly let it run through his legs, and then he spun him and he's had to foul him because he would have been away and got the ball.
And Marcel Oakley, who was really impressive in the first 45 but has been fairly quiet in the second half, has just been booked for that foul on Cleary.
Yeah, we saw for Solihull's goal, Rob, how silly free kicks can lead to goals, and it was Cleary that time who gave the free kick away. He won the free kick this time, and as a manager you go mad with your players because you think, don't give away cheap free kicks.
We're into the 100th minute. 14 minutes of stoppage time. It's 1-1. Pools with the free kick. Ferguson delivers, easily headed away by Duku, and comes out to Nicky Featherstone, the deepest lying of the Pools players. Finds Ferguson. Good delivery, is it? Oh, it's taking a deflection. No. And it's out for a goal kick. And that,
association with Heart of our Club 1908,
an opportunity missed. Perhaps 4 minutes of stoppage time left to play, as Jamie Miley has been given the fans man of the match. Mickey Barron, who's in your thinking for your BBC Radio T Sport man of the match?
Yeah, I would say Miley's in there. I think Louis Stevenson's had a good game. Manny's done well up front without sort of taking his real chances, but yeah, definitely those ones.
Mancini feeds the run of Charman. Has a sea of yellow shirts in front of him, cuts it back to Featherstone. Sharon once more. Now Charman receives it, tries a little give and go with Mancini that comes off. Good work from those two. Cut back from Charman. Might fall for Mancini as the spin of the ball takes it away from him. Mancini's shot saved by the legs of Ollie Wright in the Solihull goal. Pools are getting closer and you can sense it. Momentum is with them, but can they make it count? Time is quickly running out. 3 minutes left to play. Mancini is dazzling under the lights once again as he skips in field. Medine, his first real touch since coming off the bench, gives it to Featherstone and then turns to run goalwards. Featherstone into Sharon. Everybody back pretty much for Solihull Moors apart from Duku. Now Cleary receives it. Touch tight is Marcel Oakley, who's having a little dig. Riaz Cleary fires one into Medine. That was just too heavy from Cleary. And Solihull can clear up to Tom Parks. Now Featherstone feeds Mancini. The corridor just closed down very quickly in front of him. Desirue inside the box and it's just thumped away by Solihull. And they've won a throw-in over on the far side.
Just going back to that last attack again, Charman gets in that really good position down this right hand side, really driving into the box, and he's got to do better with that final ball. He just plays it across the 6-yard box and doesn't miss the first defender. He's got to try and do something different when he's in those areas.
And another Solihull Moors player down with cramp. So another stoppage in play. And Matthew Taylor is readying a change, with some fans heading out to perhaps enjoy the rest of their evening, feeling they have seen all there is to see here tonight. Pools 1, Solihull Moors 1. Tom Parks with the opener for Pools in the second half thanks to a Jamie Miley free kick which was beautifully delivered, and a header from Parks looping over the outstretched glove of Ollie Wright in the Solihull goal. But after a floodlight failure, a long stoppage, and the restart, then it was Solihull who found their way back into the game. A free kick, John Bostock delivered it, and up leapt Manny Duku to header home and find a way level for the visitors. And that is where we're at, with 14 minutes of stoppage time elapsed. Manny Duku's been substituted for Shane White-Hall, who's come on in these last few dying embers. Is there one last chance?
Still
for
feel
Pools?
there is, Rob. I still
do,
feel
don't
there's
you?
a chance in the game.
You feel like it's not quite over yet, as David Ferguson, Tom Parks, I beg your pardon, intercepts. Now Sass Davies. Everybody forward for Pools. Everybody back for Solihull. Mancini dances through the defence into the box. Closed down. There's 4 yellow shirts around him. Charman lays it off to Sharon. Delivers into the back post where Medine is lurking, but it's headed away. Ferguson keeps the move alive. Now Featherstone into the feet of Medine. Back to goal. Feeds Ferguson. The delivery is blocked, but it breaks for Cleary. That shot is also blocked, and it's boomed up into the night sky by Solihull Moors, who are desperate to get it away from goal. But Billy Sass Davies wins his header, and it's into the feet of Mancini. They need a moment of magic. Can he provide it? Mancini infield towards Cleary. Gets it back, does Mancini. He's trying to do it all by himself, and a last-ditch tackle from the Solihull defender. It was Marcel Oakley back doing what he needed to do to protect the goal. Pools have a throw-in. We're into the 105th minute of stoppage time, and Pools have a throw-in.
Just sounds crazy.
It just sounds ridiculous. Pools throw-in into Cleary. Back out it comes to Featherstone. Just get it in the box. Cleary trying to do that at the byline. Can he find a way through to the front post? It's cleared. Mancini tries a flick that doesn't come off, and Solihull Tried to clear into touch, and they do. And it's yet another Pools corner, and it's parallel with the Solihull box. And this is surely it now. Ferguson with a throw-in, finds Cleary. Ferguson looks to deliver into the area. The goalkeeper comes out, spills it.
Oh, no way.
And the referee gives a free kick for a foul on the goalkeeper. Well, I think that was more of Oliver Wright colliding with Desirue than it was Desirue colliding with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's not a free kick, Rob. The ball's curling away from the goalkeeper. He's decided to come. He's going into the bodies and he's coming away with the ball and he's dropped it. And the referee's let him off with one there, definitely. He's got no intention of stopping this ref.
And still we play. 106 minutes. Manny Desirue wins a header. Gary Medine.
Go on, there's a chance.
Desirue! Can he finish? It's blocked. Desirue slips, and the referee gives a free kick to Solihull Moors. And that is full time. 107 minutes. Couldn't separate these two teams. Tom Parks found the net with a looping header from a Jamie Miley free kick. In the second half, we had a floodlight failure, a 15-minute stoppage while all the lights were dark, and when the game restarted, Solihull Moors started to shift through the gears, and they got their equaliser, a free kick of their own. John Bostock teased one into the area for Manny Duku, who rose between two centre-backs and headed home past Adam Smith to make it 1-1. Pools huffed and puffed. They had so many opportunities, but the goal, the winning goal, just would not come. And it means that Pools are now winless in 8 and without a win on home soil in 6 games now. And their search for victory, their search for 3 points goes on, Mickey Barron.
Yeah, it was a better performance, Rob, wasn't it? Created numerous chances, didn't take them, especially in the first half. Solihull came back into the game, second half, played better football. I think Limerick will be disappointed with the goal to give away because there was a needless free kick and then there was a ball in the box and an unmarked header and he's headed it in. But even at the end there, I have to give credit to Solihull by the way they defended. Right at the end there, I think it was Cundy's done a block on Manny there, which was saving a goal, and they defended well. But I think overall Hartlepool were the better team, created more chances, but in several games haven't taken them and don't win the game, and it's becoming a concern now that that run goes on, and it's frustrating because I think they have created enough chances, and you can hear already what the manager's going to say after the game, can't you?
And on a week where a lot was spoken about off the pitch, what does that performance or what does that draw do off the pitch? Anything or nothing?
I don't think it does a lot, Rob. I don't think if you were looking to buy Hartlepool, today's performance would sway you anywhere, really, wouldn't it? You would think, yeah, we've got a couple more fans than we had last time, and we've got a good squad. We know they've got a good squad, and I think if anyone's looking to buy the football club, they're looking at it, knowing what you're going to get. You know there's going to be a big change again in the summer with players, and it needs a rebuild, and unfortunately this has been said too many times, especially with the players, especially with the management teams. It's becoming a common theme, so hopefully there's some light at the end of the tunnel, there's some positive news to come, and it's almost like we just want that done now and move forward and get the next season underway, isn't it?
It is. They have to settle for a point, Hartlepool United, but the winless run continues. They had their opportunities to try and seal the win, but the win just did not come. It ends Pools 1, Solihull Moors 1.
Rob, Mickey, fantastically called as always. Thank you very much. It is never dull covering Hartlepool United, is it? Rob's going to head down the tunnel now to speak to the Pools head coach Anthony Limbrick after that 1-1 draw for Pools against Solihull Moors here in the National League. Depending on how speedy we are, we hope to bring you that interview before we go off air at 8 o'clock tonight, but you will be able to listen to it later on at your own leisure on BBC Sounds. You'll find a link to it too on our X page, which is at BBC T Sport. Before Shaq takes over with introducing, we'll hear from the Middlesbrough head coach Michael Carrick and goalkeeper Mark Travers after the Borough drew 0-0 away at Luton Town in the Championship, and our 3 o'clock kick-off here on BBC Radio T Sport. We'll also talk Spennymoor Town as well with manager Graham Lee. They won big in the National League North this afternoon, a 3-0 victory at Kings Lynn Town. But before all of that, I'll bring you the full-time scores from around the grounds next. It's 22 minutes to 8.
On every street across Teesside, County Durham and North Yorkshire, there's someone with a heart of gold.
We love going out, don't we?
Yeah.
Making a difference.
A great neighbour, an incredible volunteer, an outstanding fundraiser.
And together they make a difference.
It makes it all worthwhile.
To nominate someone for a BBC Make a Difference award, go to bbc.co.uk/Make a Difference,
where you can see a full list of categories, full terms and our privacy notice.
That makes a difference to everyone in the community.
Nominations are open now and close on the 31st of March at 5 p.m.
I feel proud of myself.
BBC Radio Tees. Proud to follow Hartlepool United.
BBC Radio Tees
Sport.
All over at the Vic then, and it's now 8 games without a win for Hartlepool United in the National League after they drew 1-1 with Solihull Moors in the half-5 kick-off.
Pool's free kick then, just right of centre. Floated into the back post, header from Parks! Oh, Tom Parks! That is just what Hartlepool United needed. Pools are in front, and a moment of light relief for the supporters and everybody connected with the club. It was Jamie Miley who floated it into the area, and Tom Parks, who's been a threat all game long from set pieces, proves that threat once more, and this time a looping header which went over Ollie Wright and into the net to give Pools a lead. It's Pools 1, Solihull 0. And it's another free kick for the visitors. In comes a delivery. It's a good ball, and it's a good goal. And it's that man once again. Manny Duku makes it 3 goals in 2 games. Gets his head on the end of the delivery. It was low past Smith. He rose well, did Duku. Finished well. And it's a goal that draws Solihull Moors level. It's Pools 1. It's Solihull 1.
Yep, it finished all square elsewhere in the National League. I'll bring you all of the full-time results now. It finished Oldham 1, Rochdale 1 in that derby. Altrincham 1, Aldershot 2 was the final score. Braintree 0, Boston United 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Tamworth 3, Ebbsfleet 1, AFC Fylde 0, Forest Green 2, Southend 2, Gateshead 0, Maidenhead United 2, Sutton 0, FC Halifax Town 3. It was a thriller between Wealdstone and Eastleigh. That game finished 3-3. Woking 0, Barnet 1, Yeovil 0, York City 1 was also a full-time score. Heading to the Premier League, 5 games there was this afternoon. It finished at Goodison Park, 1-1 between Everton and West Ham. Elsewhere finished Ipswich 2, Nottingham Forest 4. It was all square between Manchester City and Brighton in a 2-2 draw at the Etihad Stadium. Southampton 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, a full-time score as well. And Brentford beat Bournemouth down at the Vitality Stadium by 2-1 as well. Heading to the Championship, and our feature game that was on 95 FM. All of our frequencies this afternoon ended down at Kenilworth Road. Luton Town 0, Middlesbrough 0. It leaves the Borough 8th in the Championship, 3 points off those playoffs heading into the international break. We'll hear more from Michael Carrick. We'll hear from Mark Travers as well, the Borough goalkeeper, shortly. Elsewhere in the Championship, it finished Millwall 1, Stoke City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds United 2, Blackburn 1, Cardiff City 2, Coventry 3, Sunderland 0, Luton Town 0, Middlesbrough 0, like I mentioned before, Oxford 1, Watford 0, Plymouth 2, Derby 3, Preston 2, Portsmouth 1, Swansea City 0, Burnley 2, and West Bromwich Albion 1, Hull City 1. And finally, in the National League North, it finished Kings Lynn Town 0, Spennymoor Town 3, a huge win for Graham Lee's men on the road. And it was a big defeat, unfortunately, for Darlington. They were thumped 4-1 away at Peterborough Sports.
Proud to support our local football teams.
BBC Radio Tees
Sport.
Have your say on the game. Give us a call 08000 85 95 95.
Text 81333 and start your message with Tees.
Tweet at BBC Tees Sport.
Email tees.sport@bbc.co.uk.
Or WhatsApp 08000 321 333 and start your message with Tees.
Get in touch with BBC Radio Tees Sport.
Yes, please do. We want to hear from you tonight before we go off air here on BBC Radio T Sport. Harry Roy here, taking you through until 8 o'clock tonight when Shaq takes over with your BBC Music introducing. Always a cracking listen. Just want to bring you another result as well, and a reminder that all of those other classified results from this afternoon's football matches are available to read on the BBC Sport website. In terms of the rugby, a big night for England. They thumped Wales 68-14 at the Principality Stadium. It's a run of 10 tries and a record-breaking victory for them at the Principality Stadium. They will win the Six Nations unless France beats Scotland in Paris. That game gets underway in just over 15 minutes time, so a big night for Steve Borthwick, and we'll hopefully hear from the England boss shortly. Just want to bring you some reaction as well from Hartlepool United. Neil, leaving the town end, has been in touch saying it was a decent first half from Pools with what looked to be 3 shots cleared off the line and a point-blank header from Manny Disarue saved. Solihull rarely threatened, but we didn't make our pressure count until Tom Parks headed in, and then after Raj pulled the plug early, Solihull drew level before we made the substitutions that should have come sooner. Mancini's cameo was a joy to watch. If he is fit, he should start on Saturday. As with many visiting teams this season, Solihull were there for the taking tonight. Neil, leaving the town. And Neil, a pleasure as always to hear from you this evening. Where that leaves Hartlepool United in the National League, I will tell you right now, it leaves them 14th in the table on 46 points, 38 games played. The playoffs a long way away now. They're 10 points off a gaggle of teams ahead of them, and they're also 10 points clear of relegation, so it's looking like very much like mid-table mediocrity for Hartlepool United. Away from Pools, let's turn our attention to Middlesbrough now then. And they played out a goalless draw away at second bottom Luton Town in the Championship this afternoon. The Borough, it was a disappointing afternoon for them, wasn't it? They didn't manage a single shot on target down at Kenilworth Road. At least Michael Carrick's men 8th in the table. Let's hear from the Borough boss. He's been speaking to Mark Drury.
Absolutely. It wasn't a classic in terms of football-wise, of quality of football. It wasn't a classic at all. I kind of knew that coming here. We knew that. We spoke about it before the game. We're going to have to adapt. We're going to have to defend at times. They put the ball in the box, obviously, so we got pretty much a new back four and players playing out of position, so we knew it was going to be a challenge. Probably proved to be like that early on in the game, and sometimes you earn your luck, with your attitude and your mentality and your spirit and your will, and I thought everyone was fully committed today, and we needed it a little bit. We needed Trav a couple of times, and it's a clean sheet, and the pitch was very, very difficult to pass the ball on. It was as bobbly as you probably get, and dry and sunny, and everything was, you could say, didn't really suit us. But that's why I was really pleased with the boys, how they stuck at it, how we had adapted, and who knows, maybe could have nicked one at the end with a couple of opportunities. So, but I think it's an important point. There's a lot of positives to take from that, even though it's not a classic on the eye.
As you say, you knew what was coming your way. I mean, I imagine very little about, particularly the first half, very little would have surprised you. No,
I said to the boys at half-time, pretty much that's what I expected. We knew those moments we were going to have to defend, and we were ready for it, and we had to adapt. And as the game went on, we felt we would get stronger, we'd settle into it, and we'd have opportunities, and just couldn't quite find enough in the end. It was, different reasons for that. I just thought it was a really difficult conditions to play football in, really, and I was pleased that we dug in and showed the other side of it, and in the end, as I said, repeat myself, I think it'll be an important point for us.
You made mention of Mark Travis there. He made, I think, 3 excellent saves in that first half. There'll be big pats on the back for him, I imagine, from his teammates after that performance. Yeah,
Trav's he's made some good saves for us, some important saves. Today was one of those, when we needed it as much as any, really. And, between Trav and Johnny and Neto, I thought that triangle, give us a lot of foundation to kind of build on. But yeah, of course, they had opportunities. I think sometimes you got to rely on your goalkeeper. Today was one of them.
If there's a concern for you, is it the fact that you didn't have a shot on target today? I mean, Finnazar's had one that went just wide, but as an attacking force, you struggled today.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that much. I think we're fine. I think, as I said, the conditions, the way it was a challenge today to play good football, really, and clean football, and it was more because of the pitch. You had to play it forward, really, and runs in behind a little bit, and the pitch was dry, and the ball was sitting up a lot, so it was difficult to play really good football, and I think as the game went on, we probably adapted to that in the last 10-15 minutes. Could have had some opportunities. I'm not going to be overcritical of the boys today for that. I think we know we're good at that. We know we can score goals, and today was about taking what we kind of could from the defending side, and hope and believing we would get one. We just couldn't quite get one.
a bruising sort of afternoon as well. Neto Borges went down in the first half. There was a moment where I thought you were going to lose another central defender, but how's everyone come through it?
Just about okay. I think Neto's took two big bangs really, one on his knee, one on his neck at the end, near the end. Honestly, he's been so good for the last week or so. You know, his character, I said it to you the other day, but his character and his attitude to the game and standing up to a challenge, you know, that was as big as it gets today, the way the game was going, and taking knocks and bangs and jumping up and going again, and love to see it. It's great to have that character in the team, you know, and he was shining for us today.
After all that, the gap remains at 3 points to the playoffs, 8 games to go. What do you do in these 2 weeks? Is it time to give everyone a chance to rest and draw breath? Or well, I imagine a lot of prayers being offered in the treatment room as well.
Yeah, a bit of everything really. You know, some boys are going away and going on internationals. We've got a good number of players that are staying with us. So we'll get the balance. You know, the boys will definitely have a few days away and time off and with the family and just rest their minds, as bodies is at the right time. But we'll still obviously work for a few days this week and reset and regroup really and come back and try to get some bodies back and for the big push, you know, to be in this position for everything we kind of had to go through, I suppose, over the last 2 or 3 months in terms of injuries and changes to the back four, changes to the centre-back partnerships. It's an incredible number that we've had to go through, and we're still in there fighting, and we've still got a chance, so give it everything we got.
Michael Carrick speaking there. Mark's also been talking to the Borough goalkeeper Mark Travers, who says they will take the point they got.
Good point in the end. Nice to get a clean sheet as well. Thought the lads in front of me were excellent defensively, so we just had to weather the storm first half. It was difficult for us. We knew, you know, their strengths are getting balls into the box, a lot of physical play, so it was a tough first half, but you know, reacted well and came out second half. We tried to push and get the winner, it just didn't quite happen, so but then it's a point on the board.
Do you think it was quite a storm in the first half. Do you think they blew themselves out a little by giving it everything, you know, right from the off?
I think the most important thing when you're under the caution, there's a lot of pressure coming at the goal, is, as you say, if you don't concede, it puts more pressure on them and they have to figure out more things to try and get the ball in the net. So I think the frustration grows for them if they don't score, and the confidence grows for us if we don't concede. So that gave us a good push to go into the second half with a positive mindset and just trying to get points on the board.
A clean sheet, playing behind 2 makeshift centre halves as well, in Johnny Howson and Neto Borges. How is it for you? How has it been for you as a unit?
I know it's been a bit of chop and change over the last few games with injuries and stuff to the centre backs, but Neto's been class. He's an unbelievable character, a mentality to just come in and whatever the manager needs, he'll put his body on the line for the team. And obviously Johnny's been out for an extended period of time, and then with the injuries piled up, Johnny had to step in against QPR on Tuesday when, you know, he hasn't played much or trained much, so it just shows you the mentality that are in front of me. It's just great to have that, and having that experience and learn with them and work with them has been great.
Given Luton's position in the table and your defensive injuries, did the game pan out exactly as you expected it to?
Obviously we came here to win the game, so it's going to be disappointing not to do that, but when you come to here and you get a clean sheet, it's always a positive, because you know you got to show good character to defend the box and be under pressure. So of course we're disappointed not to get all 3 points, but we have to take positive going into the break now, and as I say, points on the board are critical at this stage of the season.
This is the first time we've spoken to you since you came to Middlesbrough, so how is it going for you? How are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been really good. You know, it's always hard coming in January when a lot of the games are played, but I was excited to come here, and you know, all the boys in the team and the squad have been great with me. It's been easy to settle, so just really enjoying playing for this club, and really excited for the end of the season now.
8 games to go. You're going to come back from the international break 3 points from the playoffs still. It's all set up, but you're going to have to overhaul some teams to get there, aren't you?
I think so. I think the main focus for us and the club is just focus on us. When you get starting add up points and getting carried away into the next fixture, it becomes really difficult, and you end up putting too much pressure on yourself and think about things that aren't in your control. So all we can do is go to the next game after the break and try and get a win and push up the table. But we'll just focus on what we can do, and hopefully that's more than enough come May.
BBC Radio T's Sports.
That was the Middlesbrough goalkeeper Mark Travers chatting to our Borough commentator Mark Drury after that goalless draw away for Borough at second bottom Luton Town in the Championship. More Hartlepool United reaction coming into us here on BBC Radio T Sport after that 1-1 draw for Pools at home to Solihull Moors in the National League this afternoon. Ollie's been in touch and says, well, like the other Pools fans, I'm very confused about the club's situation. The power outage was not a good look, not only on the television, but for any potential buyers. A 16th draw of the campaign. It was a great goal by Tom Parks. Yes, Hartlepool United with more draws than any other side in the National League after that result. Let's turn our attention towards Spennymoor Town, and in the National League North this afternoon, they thumped Kingsland Town 3-0 away from home. Aidan Rutledge, Finlay Shrimpton and Nathan Simpson were all on the score sheet for Moors as they returned to winning ways. Their boss Graham Lee has been speaking to Mark Simpson and says it was a great victory.
Outstanding from the first whistle all the way through. We spoke many times in the game, before the game, about if everyone does the job and dominates their own opponents, but we the last couple of games we just needed a little bit more urgency about our game, and that was there in abundance today. And like I said, it wasn't just getting to the ball first, it was then we moved it a little bit and made that first 5-yard pass which just brought us into the game. And like I said, when we had to dig in and win headers and first contact we picked up majority of second balls throughout the game and then caused them many problems. And like I said, to come away against a team who were full time and get a 3-0 win, fantastic.
The first half, I thought we were the better team, and we got our rewards, didn't we? Right next to the whistle at the end of the first half, and psychologically that's so damaging for the opposition, isn't it?
Yeah, it was massive for us, but what a goal that is! But both goals in the first half, like they run down the line, a couple of passes across, and then great finish by Aidan, who led the line fantastically today. And then the second goal, like, again, we've worked the ball down the left hand side this time, and Rammer's come in, cut it back, and Finn's took a touch, and what a finish. But yeah, that's because everyone's on the game, the mindset, and that's what we've got to make sure that we're consistently now. Like, we've got 7 or 8 lads who are really on the game, and we showed when we do that we can cause any team's problems and coming here and, like I said, and getting that 3-0 win.
How pleased were you for Finlay? Obviously he had a traumatic midweek at Buxton when it was his last touch in the final few seconds. How pleased are you that he's managed to turn it around in such good style?
Yeah, over the moon for him, but it wasn't so much even the goal, it was his performance today. That was Finn Shrimpton. We know he covered every blade of grass, picked up every second ball, intercepted things and kept the ball simple, and then he got his reward. It's a fantastic goal, and like I said, that's who we know and why he's at the club.
In second half you had to dig in, you had to be determined at times, but didn't really cause us any problems, did they?
No, obviously their intensity lifted and they tried to put a few more balls in, but we made sure we got our first contact, and like we said, all we spoke about was that second contact, and then once we got in their half and got hold of the ball, we caused them many problems again, and Rams had a fantastic chance, I think. Junior's cut inside, so there's been other chances where you think finish them off, and then obviously the third goal just eases everyone's nerves a little bit, and thankfully we're very pleased.
I've chalked a new one off today. I've been able to shout Simpson scores in the commentary. How pleased are you for Nathan right at the end?
No, over the moon, because I give him a good shout when he had the ball in the corner. He's tried to be fair, he's trying to hit the ball off their lad, and he's missed their lad, and he's put them back on the counter attack. So to then get his little goal at the end was fantastic. It was a bit slow motion. I was like, it was hard to tell where the ball was, but I think for his first goal, that's not a bad moment. We're about a yard out.
That's how you like them. And just great reward as well for those fans who've made the journey down. Such an arduous trip, isn't it?
It's once you turn, I don't know what the road's called, but once you turn left off the A1, it's a long winding road. But no, listen, the lads come week in, week out. It's unbelievable to see where they're travelling, and all we want to do is make them happy and put a performance on what they can be proud of, and I think everyone's proud of that performance today.
Perhaps one negative this afternoon, Dan Rowe forced off. What can you tell us so far?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think he's hamstring, but unfortunately Dan's come in from a long-term hamstring injury, and he's had to go straight in with other injuries and play week in, week out. And we try to manage it. We try to manage it at the Marine game, I think, before the Sutton game, and it's just one of them. I think he's went to a high kick and the lads nudged him in the back, which is just extended him a little bit too much, and he's got a pain in it, so we'll have to assess it in the next couple of days. But there's a couple of us we need to look at as well.
BBC Radio T Sport.
A very happy Spennymoor Town boss Graham Thee speaking to Mark Simpson after that victory for Moors, a 3-0 win on the road for them. They beat Kings Lynn Town in the National League North this afternoon. Meanwhile, Darlington was thumped by 4-1 away at Peterborough Sport. It leaves Steve Watson's side 11th in the table, 8 points off the playoff places. In terms of Spennymoor Town, they're just one place below them. They're in 12th. They're on 54 points, but have a game in hand on the Quakers. So still a chance for both sides to make the playoffs, but it's going to be very, very tight come the end of that. Just going to round up some of your sporting headlines for the day before I hand over to Shaq at 8 o'clock, who's got your BBC Music Introduction show. And with the Rugby Union, England trounced Wales at the Principality Stadium with a record score against them, as well as a record-winning margin top the Six Nations table, with just tonight's matchup between France and Scotland in Paris remaining. Henry Pollock scored 2 of England's 10 tries as they ran out 68-14 winners at the Principality Stadium, which leaves Wales with the wooden spoon. But it still might be enough for England to earn the title as well. France can win it later on. That's all we've got time for on BBC Radio T Sport. I'm going to leave you with all the goals from this afternoon as Pools drew 1-1 with Solihull Moors, means it's now 8 games without a win for Pools.
Proud to follow Hartlepool United.
BBC Radio T
Sport.
Pools free kick then, just right of centre. Floated into the back post, headed from Parks! Oh, Tom Parks! That is just what Hartlepool United needed. Pools are in front, and a moment of light relief for the supporters and everybody connected with the club. It was Jamie Miley who floated it into the area, and Tom Parks, who's been a threat all game long from set pieces, proves that threat once more, and this time a looping header which went over Ollie Wright and into the net to give Pools a lead. It's Pools 1, Solihull 0, and it's another free kick for the visitors. In comes a delivery. It is a good ball, and it's a good goal, and it's that man once again. Manny Duku makes it 3 goals in 2 games, gets his head on the end of the delivery. It was low past Smith. He rose well, did Duku, finished well, and it's a goal that draws Solihull Moors level. It's Pools 1, it's Solihull 1.
BBC Radio T
Sport.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
BBC introducing
supporting new and emerging acts across the BBC.
Yes, it's Shaq here on BBC introducing North East. We have a huge show coming up. I'll tell you all about that after my track of the week from Alex Bourne last week. It's Self-Esteem.